Florida State contest has been legendary as any college rivalry. It has had its share of dramatic moments.
Touchdown FSU! Touchdown PK!
National title hopes have been dashed.
Quincy Green down at the 18-yard line. Hands it off to Taylor, left side, inside the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
And champions have been crowned.
And the 10, the 5, he's in! Touchdown! Oh my! And the Gators have won the national championship!
In this edition, for one team, a season can be saved. For another, a shot at the national title. Bragging rights and pride are on the line. Florida State now. And we welcome you to Rivalry Week, presented by Remington. We're at Bobby Bowden Field, Doak Campbell Stadium, the campus of Florida State University in Tallahassee. ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Best Buy. The number 4 Gators take on the Florida State Seminoles. This is the BCS standing story. Ohio State, Michigan are done. USC plays Notre Dame tonight. Florida, yes, they still have a chance. They win today, they win next week in the conference championship, and they hope for a little help, and maybe they could get to that championship game. Welcome, everybody, with Andre Ware, Todd Harris. I'm Gary Thorne. Delighted to have you with us for this great rivalry. You saw the BCS standings. Yeah. What do you think?
I think USC kind of is in the driver's seat in this deal. They went out, they play for the national championship against Ohio State. If they slip in the next 2 weeks, then I think it's going to take something uncharacteristic of college football to get Florida into that national championship game. They've got a leapfrog Michigan who's sitting at home just kind of waiting. I think that's the rematch that happens provided USC stumbles.
All right, Florida knows if they're going to get there and give themselves a chance, they've got to win this great rivalry game. If they're going to win, it's all about their QBs.
Yeah, 2 quarterbacks, 2 different styles. Chris Leak basically going to break every passing record at Florida before it's all said and done, before he finishes. When he's in the football game, they'll be in a pro-style 2-back tight end type sets. When Tim Tebow comes in, it's a totally different style. More of a runner, a big physical presence at the quarterback position. Second on the entire football team in rushing. He looks up to contact, Gary.
We're going to see a lot of quarterbacks in this game today. It has been a tumultuous season for Florida State, not a good one. One of the worst they've had record-wise in a long time. They win today, though, and a lot of that is forgotten. It's about pride.
Yeah, it is. And talking with their seniors, they came together this week. Buster Davis, Chris Davis, and then Lorenzo Booker, their fantastic runner. It's about pride. It's about protecting your home field. They feel like, as a senior class, if they can pull this one off today against Florida, ranked number 4 in the country, this may salvage the season for the Seminoles.
That's what Bobby Bowden has said. It is about salvaging. You don't hear that from Florida State very often, but that's the case here today. They've got a shot. Don't kid yourself. They have talent. When we come back, this great rivalry, the 51st time. Now, John Renegade. I'll tell you, it is a great show. All rivalries, yeah. It's not only what goes on the field, but you end up with a great show that goes along with it. Both bands just cleared the field with hundreds of band members joined together and performed the national anthem. Both teams doing that. A young coach who's making a name for himself with Todd Harris. Todd?
Coach Meyer, you've been around some great rivalries, Toledo, Bowling Green, Utah, BYU. What does the Florida State game mean to the folks in the state?
Well, I was educated on it last year. This is an intense rivalry. I think the 90s really made it a national rivalry. It's always been very intense local, but the 90s made it a national rivalry.
What are your thoughts on your team making it to the national championship game this season?
We got a very talented team we're playing today, and I made some comments earlier in the week, but we got to take care of our business, and we're facing as talented team as there is in the country.
And your thoughts on the current BCS system?
Well, I think it's the best of what's available, but right now we got to worry about what we got to worry about.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Urban Meyer hoping that it all begins here today. If you don't take care of business here, you don't get it done. It is the 51st meeting going back to 1958. They have played at least one game against each other every year since then. Florida leads the series. Florida State 7-1-1 at home since '86. Their last meeting, Tallahassee. Florida with a 2013 win.
Yeah, you mentioned dropped the last one at Tallahassee, but 7-1-1 here, at home against Florida. So we're here today, and I expect a fantastic football game from the Seminoles.
This is what makes the day for Florida State. During our football game here today, we will take a look. Notre Dame USC preview that is coming up, obviously with BCS implications all over the place. It'll be tonight, ABC at 8 o'clock. Ohio State Michigan, is it going to be a rematch? We'll talk about that during our game today. And what about these rivalry games and the effect not only on national standings, but the effect rivalry games have on the program? This is where you claim your ground.
One of college football's all-time scenes right here. Chief Osceola riding in on Renegade and planting the sword. Into the spear here. Nice.
This is senior day, so all of the seniors were introduced. It will be their last game here at home. There is the planting of that torch, which is the great tradition here at Florida State. And the other great tradition way of rivalries is, God forbid, if the other team ends up stepping on the logo at the 50-yard line. We end up with a hockey brouhaha if that happens. It didn't happen. They protected it. You'll see the chop going all day here from the Florida State fans. And then the Gators, of course, will have their hands going the other way with the Gator fight. You'll see both today. Let's take a look at the players we're going to see in this game will matter. We talked about for Florida State. Quarterback situation, you're going to see both of them play.
Well, both have struggled in the last 3 games. You see the stats there. And Drew Weatherford will start the football game. He'll give way to Xavier Lee, who Coach Bowden feels like plays a little bit better coming off the bench. Not starting, but bring him in, kind of massage him into the football game.
Both of those players appeared in the last 3 games. Weatherford has been the starter, the winningest coach in Division I college football. The 31st season at Florida State, his 41st year. Bobby Bowden, 365 wins. A tumultuous season that this past week saw his son resign, his contract bought out. The offensive coordinator is his son, Jeff. We will talk about that today. However, his son will finish as the offensive coordinator through the bowl game now, not just through this game, but through the bowl game, whatever it is they're going to play. Jeff will be sitting up in the booth and will be one of the 2 deciding the offensive plays today.
Yeah, tough on the Bowden family with Jeff Bowden, their offensive coordinator, resigning this week. And but you look at this Florida State program, 25 straight years of a bowl game, and talking with Coach Bowden, he said this is what kids come to Florida State for. They come here to play in rivalry games like this against Florida and Miami and other big games that you play on the schedule at Florida State.
Boy, does he want this one just to take some of that criticism level down that has been around him and his club this season. Florida won the toss. They have deferred. Florida State's going to receive. Now a kick will be taken at the 4-yard line. Garvin's got it. He'll bring it up to the 15, to the 20. Good return. All the way up to the 27-yard line. Nice return by Michael Ray. Garvin, the sophomore, averages 21 yards on the return. Let's take a look at the offense for Florida State. Drew Weatherford will be the starter. How long he stays depends on how he plays.
That's how he performs early. And then you look at that big offensive line. They've struggled a little bit, been kind of criticized for not being physical enough. John Frady's the guy, the best guy up front for Florida State. He's the guy that makes all the calls in the middle.
All right, let's see how it's won. Lorenzo Booker's one of the seniors, number 28. He will be one of the tailbacks in there. He is hoping for one of the best days he has ever had in this football game to wrap it up at home. Looking to the left side, Flats 30-yard line, and a big-time hit by Reggie Nelson. You're going to hear his name a lot. Dakota Fagg hauled it in, but Nelson was right there to put the tackle on. This is a great defense. Scoring-wise, the 5th fewest points surrendered in the nation.
Yeah, and it's a secondary that's going to be tested throughout this ball game, especially out on the edges. Reggie Lewis and Ryan Smith, who leads the football team with 6 interceptions after transferring in from Utah, but they will be tested. Florida State feels like they've got the advantage on the outside.
It is a 2nd down and 5, ball at the 31-yard line. Weatherford working out of that gun. Booker out of the backfield. Gets to the line of scrimmage, maybe not. Going to be driven back by Steve Harris, a senior defensive end, who put the hit on Lorenzo Booker.
Well, Well, Lorenzo Booker has had it tough this year, only 464 yards coming into this football game, but he's the senior captain of the offense and really gathered the guys around and said, hey, this is our chance to really kind of put a stamp on our way out of here, and he wants to have an outstanding ball game against their interstate rival.
First big third down and 5. They are only 35% this year in third down conversions, and in the last 2 games, 2 for 24. That is not good. Weatherford out of the shotgun, low snap, picks it up, gets the rush, dumps it off, completed. That is going to be a fumble at the 30, and still loose. That ball is loose. That ball is loose. Down to the 20, the 15, the 10, and to the 1-yard line. The players stopped playing, but Brandon Seiler realized that there had been no whistle. That ball was caught, fumble, no whistle, and he takes it down to the 1. Cody Fagg had a reception and then caught the football up. And we're going to get a review on this.
Well, it's Cody Fagg kind of running a little drag route across the middle against man-to-man coverage, and you got to put the football away. Excellent job of coming in, kind of stripping the football by Tony Joyner. And this, Gary, is why you play until you hear the whistle. You don't know, you can't take for granted that a play has been stopped or it's been downed. And right here, Cody Fagg's right. It looks like he doesn't have possession. I wouldn't be surprised if this one's overturned. I didn't think he had it put away and secured. You see the hand right there, one hand grab, bringing it in, kind of trying to put it away. You see the ball still moving around, and then it comes out. I'm thinking that's an incomplete pass.
I agree with you. But as you said, there was no whistle on that. The officials had ruled on the field that it was a completed pass and a fumble. That was the ruling on the field. So now in the review upstairs, there's got to be indisputable evidence.
I think there is.
That it was not caught.
It was still being juggled around, and once they take a look at this, he never secured the football, never put it away and to turn up the field or to make an athletic play, and then the football comes out. I really think this one's going to be overturned.
Yeah, 2 coaches taking a look. The review upstairs will get all of the angles that you have seen. They're looking at the same pictures that you are. Does he control the football here?
You see,
there's indisputable video evidence the pass was incomplete.
There you go. That's why they use it. There's Ron Cherry, the referee from the ACC. Florida State, of course, out of the ACC. They've won 3, lost 5 in conference play. SEC for Florida.
Yeah, one more look at it. You see the one-hand snag right here, and then Tony Joyner's going to show up just in time to where Cody Fagg doesn't have an opportunity to tuck that football away.
That is a very big call.
Big call for Florida State.
That ball was going to be down on the 1-yard line. Gano is back to do the kicking from the 20, and he just gets rid of it. A boomer, fair catch called for at the 25-yard line. Brandon James on the fair catch. Great punt. 44-yard punt under pressure. No return. And now Florida's going to get the football. And we'll have a chance to see their dual quarterback situation. Starting lineups presented by Outback Steakhouse. Chris Leak, the veteran starter out of Charlotte, North Carolina, will be leading the charge.
And they'll come out throwing the football and throw it throughout this ball game. Left tackle Phil Troutwine, their best player up front, most consistent player on the offensive line when you talk to the Florida coaching staff.
Deshaun Wynn, number 21, will be the running back. They'll overload it to the right side on a 1st and 10 for Florida. A lot of Florida fans on hand here at Florida State. That ball almost got loose. At the 25-yard line, there'll be no gain. Gino Hayes moved in and put the hit on Wynn. Defensively, a very big test for Florida State, whether they can shut down this offensive Florida.
And it'll be a big test in the secondary for Florida State. Tony Carter, Roger Williams, and you talk about the guys on the outside, on the edges. They will be tested throughout this ball game. They're very, very thin in the secondary at Florida State.
Outback Steakhouse presenting our starting look right there. It is a 2nd down and 8. Chris Leak, his 49th game that he has played in for Florida out of the shotgun, led on the carry line of scrimmage, and there is nowhere to go. This team is 38th in rushing and 26th in passing. They try and keep it a little bit balanced in the course of a football game.
You know, when you watch Florida State on defense last week against Western Michigan, maybe had some trouble fighting off blocks, the big guys up front. You could tell this is a rivalry game because they're in the trenches and right now holding their own against a decent Florida offensive line.
Dino Hayes out of that middle linebacker position. 2 early plays. Here's a big 3rd down and 8. 3rd down and 8. 46% conversion rate on 3rd down. Leak from the 20, looking deep, had time to the 33rd. That'll be a first down up to the 42-43-yard line. That is Cornelius, Jamel Cornelius, a 15-yard gain and a first down. Let's check in with Matt Weiner. Matt.
Gary, here's a Taco Bell update from Clemson, where the Tigers and South Carolina are meeting for the 98th straight year. Clemson on top earlier. Will Proctor, Jacoby Ford, nobody there, and he'll wind his way 76 yards for the touchdown. Tigers up early 7-0.
These great rivalry games going on today. A first down and 10 for Florida from the 43-yard line. Rolls near side, completed at the 45 midfield and into Florida State territory. Andre Caldwell, a junior, is 45th reception of the year, 9-yard gain. Timmons put the hit on.
Boy, I tell you, the thing you like about Chris Leak is his ability just to get the football out on time. Recognizes defenses, and you see here, Andre Caldwell outflanks the defense. You're just a step or two outside the end man on the defensive side of the football field. Get him the football in space and allow him to make plays with his legs.
Leak has thrown for 19 touchdowns, been intercepted 11 times, 64% completion rate. A second down, short yardage, second down and 1 in Florida State territory. On the option, Leak will pitch. It'll be 45-40. And a great drive down to the 32-yard line. Percy Harvin, a #1 prospect described by his coach as explosive, gets a 17-yard gain and limps a little bit after being driven out of bounds.
Yeah, he's the speed element. When they put him in the backfield, you see it right here. This is the guy you're going to option off, and he shows his commitment to the quarterback. Chris Leak recognizes it, and now it's Percy Harvin out in the open field. All the blockers up front, and just the speed right now turning it on to pick up the first down.
Now Tebow has come into quarterback. Tim Tebow has replaced Leak here. On this first down, the left-hander going down the sideline, bumping a little bit. There's a flag down. Looks like an interference call as Dallas Baker, their leading receiver with 49 catches, was in a battle with Jamie Robinson.
Well, you watch Florida, they have begun to get Tim Tebow involved in the football game earlier and earlier as this season progresses. And boy, they really like the youngster.
Why would you do that here? You've got a drive. Weatherford's going well. He started the game. Then all of a sudden on a first down, you bring in the second quarterback.
Yeah, and then right now coming back in the football game is Chris Leak.
Now Leak may have...
Defense number 10. 10 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
May have just gotten himself shaken up on the option play, but he's right back. Looked like he was checking back in the football game. I think he's back in the huddle now. So, you know, I'm not a fan of 2 quarterback systems. Really not. I think it's one guy the team identifies with one quarterback, but I think the reason why Florida is able to get by with it is Chris Leak's a senior, Tim Tebow's a freshman, a true freshman, and there's a respect factor that's involved.
Chris Leak is again in at quarterback. On this drive by Florida, they come back against the grain, carried to the 21. That again is Percy Harvin out of Virginia Beach, only a freshman at 5'11". Take a look at our IBM Star Watch. Here are the 2 we're talking about. Florida, Chris Leak, Tim Tebow.
Yeah, 2 different styles. Chris Leak, more the classic pocket passer. Tim Tebow's going to run around with it. They have what they call the Tebow package, where he comes in, they'll go to the old wing T, and he'll come in basically just to run the football. Second leading rusher on this Florida football team.
It is a second down and 10. Harvin, the youngster, remains in, comes as a receiver to the near side. Chris Leak going up and down the line of scrimmage, maybe inaudible. Goes into the gun in the second down play, moves us back to the near side. Wanted an option, didn't have any room. And he'll be taken down near the line of scrimmage at the 22-yard line. That was an option play that Timmons read and made the tackle.
Well, this is big for Florida State if they're able to hold Florida to a field goal attempt here. But you see all the bodies in the middle, and Florida State known for their speed. They get outside leverage, forcing Chris Leak back inside, and then Lawrence Timmons, the outside linebacker, there to clean things up. But make my point, they hold on third down here. Chris Hetland is only 3 of 10 in field goal attempts, so it's an adventure for the Florida Gators when they line up to kick a field goal.
Third down and 9. Third down and 9. They'll move again into the gun. Leap. Quarterback wants a timeout. Didn't like what he saw, so he will use one of the timeouts here. The Gators have scored on their first drive 6 times this year. Can they get it done here? Going to find out when we come back to Tallahassee. On the replay, overruled, incomplete pass. Florida has continued their drive here after taking a good punt, working from their own territory with it. Now it's third down and 9. Wynn is the receiver way out on the right side. He's their running back, working as a wide receiver in this third and long yardage.
Yeah, and they showed blitz before, which caused Chris Leak to call the timeout. They're lining up again, but looks like they're going to back out of it and play zone coverage.
Leak out of the gun, looking, gets the rush, drops it near side. That'll be incomplete at the 15-yard line in good coverage. Cornelius was the intended receiver, but he only got one arm on it and then had it knocked away, so it's going to bring up a 4th.
Yeah, and Lawrence Tillman's going to come from the outside edge. Doesn't give up on the play. Causes Chris Leak to have to step up. LaTroy Gilman in there as well. And forcing the field goal attempt, which has been an adventure for Florida this season.
Both these teams have struggled. He is 0 for 7 from 30 or more yards this year. That one is up, and it is no good. Add another one to it. Chris Hetland, the senior.
How at Florida they've gotten away with it this long with just poor field goal kicking on the season, and you would think at the University of Florida you could find yourself a kicker.
He is now 3 for 11 in field goal attempts. They do not score. Talk about an Achilles heel. That's a kicker's Achilles heel. Campus of Florida State. Florida State's defense stands up. Field goal attempt no good. Florida State will get the football back, first down at 10, starting at their own 20-yard line. Drew Weatherford. Weatherford look at the open 35 and out of bounds. Lorenzo Booker. Booker, the senior, who has rushed for 526 yards, will add 12 to it. And that's the young man we were talking about, who has talked all week about pride and a big game as a senior here at home in his final appearance.
Well, you talk about Florida State. Plays just happen in bunches once something good happens for this football team. And you talk about the missed field goal right back. Lorenzo Booker breaking a nice long run for a first down. Florida State, they really know how to capitalize on momentum-type plays.
They are 100 in rushing offensively. Florida State is 39th in passing. They go to the pass first and 10. They go down the near sideline. The alley-oop. It is incomplete, but that's what they wanted. Big Greg Carr at 6'6" with a 36-inch vertical leap is the guy they try and get open in a one-on-one. Let's check in with Matt Weiner. Matt.
Gary, let's get a Verizon Wireless update from the Clemson, South Carolina game. Big plays for the Tigers, a 76-yard pass play. Then after a Carolina touchdown, it's C.J. Spiller breaking free for 80 yards. And the Tigers are on top 14-7. Rutgers trying to bounce back. They lead Syracuse 14-0.
Syracuse looking for an upset against a Rutgers team that had the great run and then lost that big game. Second down and 10 on the carry, straight ahead line of scrimmage, and that's all. That is Booker. You're not going to do a lot of rushing against this Florida defense that is 5th best against the rush. 72 yards a game.
Yeah, and he's more the slasher type, Lorenzo Booker. They had Anton Smith, who was out last week, dislocated an elbow early in the football game last week for Florida State. So they were sharing time, pretty much equal reps, but Booker's going to get the bulk of the carries in this football game against Florida.
It is his job in the backfield. Brings up a third down and at 9. Drew Weatherford will go back into the shotgun. Florida State looking for the first down. 4 receivers. It's caught at the 40. It's going to be a first down, 45-50 into Florida territory. 30-yard line out of bounds. Chris Davis, senior wide receiver. His 41st reception of the year for 37 yards.
But he scored early last week against Western Michigan on an end around, and they like to go to him down in the red zone. They're creeping closer to it, but you see here, nice little option route, start inside and get the defender overcommitted, plant that foot and start outside, and now it's the yards after the catch that Florida State impresses you with. They've got playmakers, Gary. They get the football to him. Drew Weatherford off to a pretty good start in this football game.
Good pass right there as he opened it up in the middle. First down and 10. Straight ahead. Booker charging. Will get it up to the 35-yard line. Joe Cohen, the senior defensive tackle, moved in and put the hit on. There is Cohen. This is a great front group that's going up for Florida on defense, and they know it at Florida State, but they also know they've got to create some kind of a running game to open the passing lanes up.
Yeah, Cohen was parade All-American out of high school, was moved to defensive end, and then now he's in a defensive tackle, but started his career as a running back at Florida, now on the defensive line.
Second down and 8. They've got 3 to the near side, and it'll be caught and out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. Brandon Warren, their fine freshman tight end. Down on the field, Todd Harris. Todd?
Well, Gary, just moments ago, you guys talking about Drew Weatherford and Xavier Lee, the backup quarterback. You know, Bobby Bowden told us earlier this week that Xavier does better, as Andre pointed out, when he doesn't know that he's going to start or play the next day. Now, in the past, they've told him you will play, but this week, Bobby Bowden said he made no promises to Xavier Lee. He is going to go with a hot hand. So as long as Drew Weatherford's playing this way, we may not see Xavier Lee, number 9.
Yeah, and the way they've struggled at that position, if you get a guy with a hot hand, you better stay with it.
Third down and 4 for Florida State. They've had a good drive. They need a first down to keep it alive. Looking, it is going to be incomplete. No chance for Chris Davis on that one, as that ball was thrown well behind him upfield.
Or the body language of Drew Weatherford there just kind of brought the defender to the out route. Try to get Chris Davis matched up one-on-one outside and just throw for the first down. But you got to take your eyes somewhere to move defenders or just to hold them and make them think you're going somewhere else with the football. When you glue on with your eyes, they're going to break, and they know that you're committing there.
How about this? Both of these teams trying field goals. Both of these kickers, it's been a disaster. Gary Sismania, 40-yard kick. It is up, and it is no good. Unbelievable. Both of these teams have field goal kickers who have just got into a hole and cannot get out of it. Sismania now is 0 for his last 4. He's missed 5 of his last 6. And it's all come because of a kick at Maryland that he missed 4 games ago that he's never recovered from it. When we return, we'll take a look at this week's hero of the program, Florida State. A long and storied tradition. Who will this week's hero be? We'll let you know right after this. All-American Fred Biletnikoff, the Seminoles' top receiver in the 1960s. In '64, he caught 57 passes, 987 yards, and 11 TDs. Biletnikoff was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1991, and the Biletnikoff Award, presented to the nation's top receiver, was first awarded in '94. Fred Biletnikoff, a hero of the program. And they're looking for another hero today. Florida's got the football, 20-25 after the missed kick, up to the 26. Andre Caldwell, a junior. Caldwell with a nice gain on it. The Fred Biletnikoff Award finalists. There you see the 3 for this year.
Yeah, Jared Dillard at Rice having one heck of a season. Calvin Johnson, we know his story. Jeff Samardzija at Notre Dame, 3 pretty good ones. But I'll tell you what, when Jim Zarrola and Wayne Edwards were putting this piece together, that surprised me. I did not know. I must admit that Fred Biletnikoff attended Florida State.
See, that's why we
a lot of football players from this storied program, but I didn't know that one.
That's why we do these games, so you can learn. And that'll be taken near the first down marker. That is Deshaun Wynn, the senior, their leading rusher, averaging 56 a game and 5.5 a carry. That one straight ahead. Let's see where they mark it. It will be, it looks like a little shy of the first down, less than a yard. So it'll bring up a third down, less than a yard.
Yeah, Deshaun Wynn grew up in that Ohio State-Michigan rivalry game from Cincinnati, Ohio, Reading High School.
So here comes Tim Tebow, the running quarterback, the freshman, 6'3", 229. He averages 5.9 a rush, second among NCAA quarterbacks. See if he carries it. 3rd down and 1. He does, straight ahead, and he's got a first down. I'll tell you.
Tough.
I mean, he is tough. He is the real deal as a runner, but as we were talking to the coordinators on the other side of the football for Florida State, you cannot just assume he's going to run the football because he's also got a great arm.
No, they bring him in that old wing T style offense, and it's just for him to run. But I'll tell you how tough he is. You know, he tried to engage in a contact drill that they wrestle in the preseason or prior to the spring game. Coach Urban Meyer literally had to go pull Tebow out by the back of his jersey because he said he just wanted a piece of somebody. Yeah. He's always looking to just kind of engage or take on defenders, and that's what gets him fired up. You think of tough quarterbacks, Jim Kelly. He's kind of cut from that same type of mold.
He runs like a fullback when he's in there at the quarterback position. He enrolled in January in early enrollment for Florida, and he holds virtually all of the Florida prep high school records offensively for quarterbacks. He's out of Jacksonville.
Yeah, amazing high school career, Gary. Over 9,900 yards passing, 3,000, over 3,100 yards rushing, 63 touchdown runs, 95 touchdown passes. Tim Tebow did it all in high school.
That is Andre Fluellen, who's coming out of the football game. He's the nose guard out of Georgia. He got banged up on that last play. Tebow did get the first down, so he goes back to the bench, and Chris Leak comes back in for Florida at quarterback. 1st down and 10. Wynn will be the setback behind him. He'll slot it to the right side. They fake the Wynn. Leak looking, pulls up over the middle, midfield, incomplete. That one off the fingertips of Dallas Baker. Baker, playing in his 48th game, had Michael Garvin on the coverage, and he just couldn't quite hang on to it.
Yeah, offensively, when Florida likes to roll Chris Leak out of the pocket a lot, here Florida State, they get nice outside contain to force him to pull up with the football so he's not throwing it on the run, and there just kind of forces him to go a little high to Dallas Baker.
Dallas Baker's had 8 touchdown receptions. He's their leader in that department, and 49 catches coming into this game. It is a 2nd down and 10.
Look for pressure from Florida State here.
3 receivers sent to the right side. The blitz is on. He saw it, got rid of it. 35, 40, midfield. There's nobody left. It's sunshine ahead of me. Andre Caldwell, touchdown. 66 yards.
Boy, Florida State, they choose to bring the pressure from the outside. They don't get to Chris Leak, and once that happens, it's one-on-one on the outside, and Andre Caldwell back 100% after a broken leg against Tennessee last year. Shows you the speed on the outside.
That is his 5th touchdown catch of the season, and a great read by Leak to get rid of that football. Chris Hetland is on for the extra point. It is up, and it is good. He's 31 out of 33 in the extra point department. A 66-yard touchdown catch. Leak to Caldwell.
Well, you see right here, just want to get it outside, get the football in Andre Caldwell's hands, and an excellent job by the receivers on the outside edge of just kind of getting in the way, putting body position in front of the Florida State defenders, which allows Andre Caldwell to turn up and use that excellent speed.
The 20th touchdown pass thrown by Leak on the season. And once Caldwell turned that corner, that was the side that rush was coming from on the blitz. There was nobody as a deep back to cover up for the linebackers. Caldwell was off and into touchdown territory. So Florida gets on the board. Their passing game, 26th in the nation. They average 238 yards a game. It took 5 plays, 78 yards, only 209. And for Florida since 90, they have thrown the most TD passes in the country now, 538, ahead of Florida State and BYU. Yeah, you talk about a game that goes to the air, this is theirs.
If you're Florida State, you don't want to have this thing steamroll. Don't try to get too much too soon. Work yourself back in this football game. You're only down 7-0, and it's early in the football game. Don't let it get out of hand against Florida, because they can score and score in bunches.
3:15 left to go here in the first quarter of this 51st matchup. And the hope for Florida. A victory today and keep their slim hopes, but there are hopes of a BCS championship game. The number 4 ranked team, Florida State, they just want to upset the apple cart. That'll be taken in the end zone by Garvin. It'll be brought out to the 20, and there it will start 1st and 10. Tonight, the Trojans and the Fighting Irish. They'll be at the Coliseum, the latest installment of another great rivalry. This game, obviously, with enormous implications for the BCS. Saturday Night Football on ABC, part of Rivalry Week. It's presented by Remington. It's 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. College football lives right here. What a matchup. There you see the BCS standings.
Yeah, Ohio State and Michigan sitting at the house just kind of watching the rest of college football season as everybody else below them from 3, 4, and 5 kind of fight it out. USC in the driver's seat, but they've got a tough one tonight.
One of those two teams, USC and Notre Dame, will be out of that picture after tonight's game. 1st down and a 10. Back from the 10-yard line. Big rush and brought down near the 20. Ray McDonald moved in, the senior defensive tackle, and got him and dropped him maybe for right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, just the entire pocket just collapsed. You see Shannon Boatman there just kind of working against Derek Harvey, getting pushed back into the lap of Drew Weatherford, and he's got to have a little better clock sensitive in the back of his head, that quarterback clock that goes on. You know, against a fast defense, once I get back, it better be going somewhere or the heat's going to be on him.
See what they can do with it here. Drew Weatherford on the 2nd down and a 10. Booker out of the backfield, trying desperately, but all kinds of white jerseys, and he's going to be thrown for a loss. This defense to run against. Joe Cohen moved in. There is a flag down on the play, however. Let's wait and see the call.
Boy, Florida.
Personal foul.
Going to help Florida State out of the hole here a little bit, but up front, getting tremendous penetration, and Lorenzo Booker having to make his first move in the backfield.
After the play was over, have a dead ball, personal foul, number 30 of defense. That's a 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Yeah, Earl Everett, the outside linebacker for Florida. But watch the penetration. You see everybody working up the field for Florida, which causes Lorenzo Booker to have to make his first move in the backfield. They've been accused of not being physical enough up front on the offensive line at Florida State. That's why right there. There's proof in the pudding. Florida getting up the field against this big offensive line of Florida State.
Florida does not need those penalties in this game. They average almost 9 penalties a game. Costly 1st down and 10. Going to pass on it. Weatherford near side. That'll be incomplete. There was good coverage at about the 38-yard line, and he had to throw that one away. Greg Carr was the intended receiver. Reggie Lewis, the linebacker, was back on coverage, and Lewis is limping a little bit.
And when you watch Drew Weatherford and you keep an eye on his body language, he's not a guy that's playing with a lot of confidence right now. We talked about that 2-quarterback deal and not really knowing if I'm the guy or at what moment I'm going to be replaced. Well, it's hard to get in a rhythm. It's hard to play with a sense of confidence when you don't know on any incompletion whether or not number 9 is going to trot himself into the huddle.
He is 3 for 7, 46 yards in the air for Weatherford. Big play here, 2nd down 10. He may have to run, steps away down the sideline. Look out. There was a hit in the making. That's called laying out your receiver, and Reggie Nelson, the junior, clocked him. Joe Surratt just got leveled.
Reggie Nelson is known around Florida as the eraser, and that's why right there. He is as physical a free safety as there is in the country. 4 interceptions, and without the addition of Ryan Smith, he was going to have to play or move to corner. Ryan Smith's playing so well, they were afforded the luxury, and you hear it right there, the luxury of leaving Reggie Nelson at free safety, and boy, has it been outstanding for Urban Meyer and his coaching staff.
Surratt had to come out of the football game after that hit by Nelson. It brings up a 3rd down and 10. They are 1 for 3. Florida State is in 3rd down conversions in this game. 35% on the year. It has been a tough 3rd down year for the Seminoles, and they're going to use a timeout. Drew Weatherford came out, took a look, said, I want to talk this one over. He does. Florida's got the lead. 1:34 left in the 1st quarter. For Florida, Florida State 6-5, 3-5 in the ACC, with Florida ranked number 4, and hoping they can win this one and play Arkansas. They will play Arkansas in the league championship game next week.
Weatherford, 8 passes attempted. He's only completed 1 for more than 5 yards in this football game so far.
He needs more here. It is a 3rd down and 10 while at their own 33-yard line. Weatherford the sideline. This man hesitated. He threw it away anyway. And if I had to guess, I'd say Drew Weatherford is almost out of the game. He's not performing well. Xavier Lee is on the bench. He's missed his last 4 passes, and in honesty has not even been close on those. And this is the time of the football game where Florida State's Bobby Bowden and their staff has made changes in the last 3 games.
And it would be early because usually you see Xavier Lee around the 2nd quarter, but I thought he had Lorenzo Booker open underneath. He tried to force one to receiver on the outside, but sometimes you have to allow playmakers to make plays. And even though you're going to throw it short, if there's enough green grass in front of him where he can turn up and make a play, you've got to give him the football. Don't force the ball.
Graham Gano on the kick. The sophomore averaging 41 yards a kick. That one may have touched somebody. That hit somebody. The question is who?
It may have hit one of the Florida return guys.
That's what they're saying. It was hit. It was hit by Florida State, and so the ball is dead where it was touched out there, and that's where it's going to be whistled. The officials are going to get together. It was Jermaine McCollum who moved in on that, and it is going to be a 1st down. There's McCollum who took the shot over there. Want to remind you, Monday night, Brett Favre, the Packers visit Sean Alexander, the NFC West leading Seattle Seahawks. Is it Monday yet? Monday Night Football, ESPN, 8:30 Eastern. Available in high definition, ESPN HD, and Spanish on ESPN Deportes. That was a strange play and almost another big turnover. Florida, though, is going to get the first down. They will start this drive from their own 28.
And they're going to look at this one.
Yeah.
And they kind of showed that play on the replay board here, and the fans started going crazy. So we're going to have looks like what will be a review on whether or not it indeed touched a Florida player, and I thought so. But we'll get a closer look at it.
See if this is a coach's review or not. Did Bobby Bowden take a timeout and ask for the review? I think that's what the official is trying to determine right now, whether he called for a timeout on this. I mean, every play is reviewed. Ron Cherry, the referee.
Florida State has requested that the previous play be reviewed.
It indeed is a coach's challenge.
They've used a timeout. If it's overturned, the timeout will be given back to them. If it is not, the timeout will be used.
And sometimes you have to weigh the risk reward in that if you're a football coach where it doesn't really hurt you to lose a timeout right now. So go ahead and take the review. And if you can get the football and you're kind of looking in there to see if it indeed touched, it looked like it touched one of the back of an ankle, one of the Florida players here.
Right
See,
there.
hits the Florida State player, then it hits the Florida player, number 26, Jermaine McCollum, on the back of the ankle, and then it's recovered, but it may be down after hitting the Florida State player initially.
Obviously talking upstairs, Bobby Bowden, and with the official. See where this hits. Watch. First, it's going to hit the Florida State player right there in the ankle. Then the Florida player, does it hit him? Yes, it looks like it.
Patrick Robinson, and then it comes in and hits Jermaine McCollum, and then it's recovered.
It looked like it bounced off a couple of bodies there, but they're going to take as long as they need here with as many angles as you're seeing.
If it hits the Florida State player first, it's going to be dead where they're spotting it, and then play will resume, and it'll be Florida's football. But if they indeed determine that it missed Patrick Robinson and hits Jermaine McCollum, then it's going to be Florida State's football.
It's awfully hard to tell.
There is indisputable video evidence that the ball was touched by the kicking team member. The ball will be awarded to Florida, 1st and 10.
Yeah, the fans are yelling and screaming, but it did hit and come in contact with number 21, Patrick Robinson of Florida State initially. Once it's touched, it's down right there. And then it hits Jermaine McCollum of Florida, and then it's recovered, and everybody gets all excited. But right now, it's Florida's football. where they've spotted it.
So the coach's review goes for naught. Two things happen there. It cost Florida State a timeout, which they have now used, and they've also used their coach's request for the replay. The coach's replay, they get one of them. So he's telling them right there how many timeouts. Bobby Bowden wants to know how many timeouts do I have left. And that's what the official's going over with him.
You know, I think it's a good risk reward type decision, and if you can come up with a football at point blank range, I think you take the shot at it, hoping that it missed your guy and hit theirs. It was obvious it hit both players, but if it happened to miss theirs and miss yours and hit theirs, you get the football at pretty good field position.
Well, you got the coaches upstairs, obviously talking to Bobby Bowden, telling him, look, we think, because it took quite a while before he made the challenge. So upstairs, the coaches thought, look, we think that may have hit their player first and we can get the football. You're right, Andre. You take a shot. You're down 7-0. You got a great chance for your offense to be in good position. The guys upstairs had a better look at it than you do. As you know, in football, the worst place to see what's going on in a game is down on the sideline.
And then the fans helped out as well because they're showing it on the big screen here in the stadium. They started going crazy.
But it was a right call, as you saw.
Absolutely.
It hit the kicking team, and that's where that ball is dead. That's where it's spotted. And Florida gets up with 1:01 left to go here in the first quarter. They have the 7-0 lead. Moore's in the backfield from the 20-yard line. Sideline little hook pattern. First down at the 40, and a little more added to it. Good play by Dallas Baker. That's their #1 receiver.
Yeah, I think this one's coming back, though. This is going to be on the offensive line holding on Florida.
That's going to nullify a 14-yard gain. And the second big penalty that we have seen Florida take in this game. The first one cost them a sack.
Holding. Offense number 67. It's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
It's going to be Drew Miller. Yeah, he gets matched up with Alex Boston, and you're going to see it right in this part of your screen, right on the left side of the offensive line. The official certainly caught his attention.
So it'll bring up a first down and 20. The ball goes all the way back to the 18-yard line. Chris Leak out of the shotgun, 3 receivers to the near side. Quarterback keep. Unusual call. He will be taken down after maybe a yard gain at most.
Now the field position has turned in favor of Florida State, and you want to maintain that. Don't give up a big play or a big gashing type play to this Florida offense. Make them work down the field. Keep them behind the chains in the down and distance mark.
Leak is not a runner. His net gain this year is 0. It's a -13.
Certainly not when you compare him to Tim Tebow,
No.
who's the second leading rusher on this Florida football team.
Second down and 19. Wynn comes into the backfield with him. Leak looking near side. Little hook pattern 25 to the 30-yard line. Good second effort. Dumped out of bounds. Nowhere near the first down marker. That is Cornelius. Jamel Cornelius on the reception, and Lawrence Timmons, their great defensive player, on the hit on the sideline. You're looking at Lawrence Timmons, who is a junior, leads the team in 18 tackles for a loss this year. He announced this past week he is coming back for his senior year. Some say, how can he do it? He's had such a great year.
Yeah, he is fast. He's got speed, size, everything you want for an outside linebacker on the next level.
Running down here, final seconds of this quarter on a big third down play. Third down and 8. Back at the 25, looking to pass and going to go deep. Man open at the 40. It is incomplete. Out of bounds, but Cornelius had gotten open. That's going to end the first quarter, and it has been a good one. Florida knows the longer that Florida State hangs around in this football game, the greater chance for the upset. Florida's got the lead after the first quarter. 66-yard TD pass has made it 7-0. Making that BCS championship game. They've got to win today. They will play Arkansas in the league championship game next week. And boy, did they score points in the second quarter.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oof. It is phenomenal. All right. Eric Wilbur standing back at the 20-yard line when he puts the foot into this, averaging 43 yards a kick, and a booming kick that will go out of bounds at about the 29-yard line, or 25-yard line where they're going to spot it. Good kick, 45-yard punt and no return. However, Florida State going to get an offense going, and we'll see how these second quarterbacks end up appearing in this game. You can hear the fans applauding because we're going to see one of them right now.
Yeah, Xavier Lee, when we talked about it or touched on it, they don't like to start him. They like for him to sit and kind of watch things as they develop, and they feel like he's a little bit better coming off the bench in football games. He may go up top with that one-on-one matchup right now.
He can run the football as well. The sophomore and a quarterback. Big rush. Back at his own 10. Gets away. Looking downfield. He will just throw it away. I mean, nobody remotely close. Todd Harris.
Well, you guys are talking about Xavier Lee. This is the kind of kid that Coach Bowden said he plays better if he doesn't know he's coming in. He said the best game that he's played this year so far, they told him about an hour and a half before the game that he was going to start. He's one of those guys, like Andre pointed out, he's an off-the-bench kind of guy, maybe the best six-man NBA kind of situation, but he comes in and he gives them the opportunity to run. He's got speed on the outside.
Yeah, when you have a fast defense like this Florida Gator defense, certainly the legs of Xavier Lee, they're going to help Florida State offensively.
He is from Daytona Beach, Florida. On the handoff, straight ahead, maybe a yard gain. That is Lorenzo Booker on the carry. Let's join Matt Weiner in our studio for a Sports Center in-game update.
All right, Gary, West Virginia can win their way to a BCS game. Have to beat Rutgers next week and take care of South Florida first things first this week, but that's not going well. Pat White stripped by Chris Robinson. George Selby returns it for the score. Bulls up 7-6, still tied at Clemson, 14-all.
Jim Levin has them playing down at West Virginia. That South Florida football team will fight you.
Xavier Lee, 3rd down and 5 for Florida State. They need to keep the football. The crossing pattern is not going to get there. Brought down near the line of scrimmage is Brandon Warren, the freshman tight end. And it is Brian Crum, the senior linebacker, who will put the hit on him. And it's going to be a 3-and-out for Florida State. Good play by Crum, who just didn't give him any room in a one-on-one matchup.
Boy, what you were impressed with, though, is how the ball came out. With Drew Weatherford, the body language, it's kind of, if I want to go there. With Xavier Lee, the football's coming out. It's got nice rotation on it, knows exactly where he wants to go with the football, and that gives you a chance to make a play, even if you throw it short of the first down marker, for a guy to make a move and get a first down for it.
Now Florida State's going to give it up again as Gano will come on to do the kicking. Back at his 20 when he puts the foot into it. A return is being set up. Big kick all the way back to the 17. The first tackle was missed. And sliding down at the 26, Brandon James on the return on the punt. Boy, that was a humongous kick. 51-yard punt. Florida leads it 7-0. Big plays this year have made a big difference. Harbin will be in the backfield, 1st down and 10. Florida in white. They've got the football on the option. Turning the corner, 30 flags are down. Out of bounds near the marker. That is Percy Harvin. But let's wait and see. The flags went down in the backfield.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be holding on Phil Troutwine, the left tackle. Got a handful of jersey and wouldn't let go, trying to secure the edge for Florida.
Well, we'll see what the call is here. Again, we've had 2 calls so far in this game that have been semi-big calls against Florida.
Right, if you're Florida State,
take advantage.
Call here. Oh, false start.
It is going to go against Florida, so they would have had at least a 9-yard gain, maybe a first down on that.
Illegal formation. Offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay the down.
Yeah, it was kind of a crazy formation. They tried to motion Andre Caldwell down inside. Maybe not enough guys on the line of scrimmage. Saw the big fella out there working in space. It's not usually a good sign.
Leak trying to get this ball snapped, 1st and 15. Now looking over to the sideline. Maybe an audible being called here. He's got plenty of time. 3 receivers, they're all hollering to one another on what the play is. The defense shows blitz. Looking down to the sideline at the 25-yard line and out of bounds at the 27. Andre Caldwell on the reception, well shy of the first down. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary.
Well, you look, and 15-2-1 are the teams in this rivalry that win the rushing battle. And right now, Florida's ahead in that department. Everything else pretty much equal. You talk about average yards per play, kind of almost double the output of the Florida State team, but still right here in it. One big play has been the difference in this football game so far.
A 2nd down and 7. Florida again trying to hurry the play, and then Chris Leak again goes down the line with the audible. 3 receivers set to the left side. One-on-one coverage. Going to run the football. Line of scrimmage tripped and fell down. Deshaun Wynn, their senior and their leading ground gainer, is going to lose 2 on that one. He's got some 2,070 yards rushing in his career. 24 TDs for the senior, number 21.
And if you're Florida State defensively, Mickey Andrews, this is exactly where you want to be. Get Florida in 3rd down and long type situations. They got themselves off the field the previous possession. Right now, 3rd down, and what looks like about 9 for Florida offensively. He can bring a lot of different looks in this situation. Maybe come with some pressure. If you want to drop in zone, make sure you keep everything in front of you.
2 out of 4 3rd down conversions in this game for Florida. Florida State fans on their feet. Timeout's going to be taken. Chris Leak throughout this series has had audibles that he's apparently been trying to get done. He tried to there, knew he was running out of time. Each team with a timeout remaining. Number 4 Florida leading it against Florida State 7-0. Would make it a whole lot sweeter. Big 3rd down and 9. Florida's got the football. Back out of the shotgun. They go over the middle. It is caught at the 49-yard line. Dallas Baker, their big play receiver, on the reception from Chris Leak for 23 yards.
What a well-thrown football. And Chris Leak squeezes this skinny post. You see him push off, and right on the 7th step, he goes to the post route, and there's not a lot of room between the corner and the safety to that side of the field, and it is definitely a timing route. That ball's in the air before Dallas Baker makes his break. That's what makes the play, the timing of the pass from Chris Leak to Dallas Baker.
Good day today for Leak so far. 3 for 5 3rd down conversions. Florida 1st and 10, looking to move into Florida State territory. They will right here. That'll be up to the 43-yard line. Deshaun Wynn for an 8-yard gain out of the backfield. Now you're seeing this Florida offense start to get moving here and start driving the football. This is what Florida State was worried about.
Yeah, they're starting to get it to their playmakers. Deshaun Wynn, the previous play, Dallas Baker, but right up into the heart and soul of that Florida State defensive unit. Right up the middle, running behind big Steve Rissler. Jim Tart, the left guard, coming right at you. Want to establish some type of physical presence along the offensive front.
It is a 2nd down and 2. Let's see if they go long here in a short yardage situation. They've still got the football. That's what they want to do. It's incomplete at the 40-yard line. Double coverage out there. Billy Latsko, who's a running back that they use as a receiver. Myron Roll on the coverage tipped it away.
You got a lot of options when you're in 2nd down and short. You can run the football and get the 1st down, or you can take a shot and a chance down the field. Here, just trying to get Billy Latsko latched up on a linebacker out in space. A lot of Florida State defenders around that football. Kind of tough to squeeze that one in there. You see Chris Leak. He's one of the best in the country at taking care of the football. 19 touchdown passes this year. But there, maybe try to squeeze that one a little too tight.
Now you got to think to try and run it. It is a 3rd down and 2. 3rd down and 2, and a whistle before the snap of the football. Wow. The 4th penalty that Florida's taken in a key situation. They've got to move the football back as they did not get that snap off in time. It's a delay game.
It took a little bit too long of getting that play call in. And
Prior to the penalty flag being thrown, 21 for the offense had requested and was granted a timeout. Therefore, there is no penalty on the field. We have a timeout on the field. Charge to Florida.
Well, there you go. So Urban Meyer got his running back Deshaun Wynn to get the timeout and avoid the penalty.
USC. Their tradition continues on ABC Primetime tonight.
I had to smile this morning with our game day crew out there in USC territory. 5 o'clock in the morning doing the opener and the game day show.
There's Corso.
Hope they had a lot of Wheaties. All right, here's the 3rd down and 2 after the timeout. Florida's going to go to the air. A little dump pass far side. Not a first down yet. Now it is. Got over that 40, out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Andre Caldwell, who's made some big plays today. A 5-yard gain for the junior receiver.
Boy, it's so dangerous when he gets the football in space. And not just Andre Caldwell, but all of these Florida receivers. Caldwell, 4 receptions for 88 yards on the afternoon now.
And a big first down. They get the markers moved. First down and 10. Florida's into Florida State territory. How many times have we seen this? Look again, Leak takes a look at the sideline, goes up the center after he gets the call. Still got plenty of time. Leak will roll it near side, gets a rush, gets it off. It'll be caught and out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. Dallas Baker, another reception, and Leak's rolling. Matt Weiner in our studio for a SportsCenter in-game update.
Gary, another one-loss team in some trouble. West Virginia at home against South Florida. This is Matt Grothe, 10 yards on the keeper, and the Bulls have a 14-6 lead. Rutgers still leads. It's now 21-0. Mike Teals a couple of touchdown passes. Clemson gets an interception return, 80 yards to go up on South Carolina.
Not keeping us updated on other big games with bold implications. A 2nd down and 5. Leak rolling. Man open at the 30-yard line. That'll be a first down to the 25. Down to the 22-yard line. Andre Caldwell has become the favorite target here in this game of Chris Leak.
Well, you're just keeping you off balance because he goes one side to Caldwell, then to Dallas Baker, and then back to Caldwell. But watch him work in the slot. Nice little out route, and it's timed perfectly by Chris Leak because it gives the football to your playmaker before the defender shows up and allows him a chance to make a move and get up the field. They're picking up the first down.
5 receptions this game, 49 on the year. Baker and Caldwell, the number 1 and 2 receivers coming into this game. Leak looking for the TD to the end zone. A little bump, but that was not going to be caught. There was a collision with the receiver, Cornelius. Jamel Cornelius and Tony Carter collided, but the football was nowhere near the collision.
Yeah, Jamel Cornelius is their big play receiver. Came in averaging over 17 yards per reception, but a lot of confusion. You see Chris Leak not really ready for the snap. Then Deshaun Wynn kind of got his route confused in the middle of the field, and then here at the end, Jamel Cornelius, a little miscommunication. He's going to the corner. Chris Leak's going to throw him to the post. Wash it out and come back on 2nd down.
It is a 2nd down and 10. Florida driving here in the 2nd quarter. Handoff straight ahead, line of scrimmage, and that will be that. Wynn on the carry. There's not been a lot of room against this Florida State interior line so far today. There hasn't been all year. They give up only 82 yards a game rushing, 10th best in the nation. Wynn has had the ball 6 carries and only 12 yards.
Yeah, and with all the injuries this Florida State defense has suffered through, 4 players after that Miami game, about 2 or 3 weeks after, were out for the season. So you saw that great effort in week 1 against Miami. 4 of those players were out for the season, yet still, Gary, they're ranked 12th in the entire country in total defense.
Another big 3rd down play, 4 for 6 in 3rd down conversions. The rush is on. Leak on the carry, and just shy of the first down, it looks like. At the 12-yard line, Roger Williams, the free safety, put the hit on Leak. Leak is looking to see where they're going to mark it. There is Williams.
Well, you get a shot like this on Chris Leak, and you better come up. Everett Brown, the big defensive end, was there to make a play and was unable to get him on the ground. And then Roger Williams comes up and cleans it up. But here comes the big fella. In short yardage situations, bring on the physical guy, Tim Tebow.
It is a 4th down. 4th down and 1. 12th play of this drive. They are 6 for 13 in 4th down conversions this year.
That old wing T formation, you see it there.
Tebow likes to carry the football. Tough to stop. There was a whistle. He was going to go to the right side.
Clock to the snap.
You got to be
Live
kidding.
game. Offense.
Unbelievable.
It's a 5-yard penalty.
Right, and you see Urban Meyer.
12th game of the year.
Unbelievable. And the thing about it, we talk about it all the time. There are penalties that occur during a game, but pass interference penalties, holding penalties that coaches tolerate because they're just part of the game. They're called effort penalties. The ones that occur before the snap, false starts, the delay of game penalties. Those are the ones that drive coaching staffs absolutely crazy.
Chris Hetland has already missed one. He is 0 for his last 8. The kick is up. And it is no good.
Unbelievable.
I mean, Chris Hetland right now has got a mind game going. 0 for his last 8 from the 30-yard or beyond mark. He missed one from the 38. Now he misses one from the 35-yard line. He's only had 3 on the year. Unbelievable.
That's a lonely walk when you're the kicker and you're struggling like that. Nobody wants to talk to you. You really don't want to talk to anybody else, but certainly, you know, it's like you're walking around with this smell on you or something. Everybody wants to get away from you.
Florida State's in this football game. I note that because, look, they are a big underdog coming into this game, and with 7:58 to go in the first half, they're in it. Sims, they got the football. That'll be incomplete. Sims came into the backfield. Dakota Fag was the intended receiver. Lee was now in at quarterback. Xavier Lee, the sophomore, dumped that one off short.
Well, look for him to try to, right there, the first couple of passes that he's thrown, nice little quick hitch routes outside, maybe a slant or two here to kind of get him involved in this football game and build his confidence. Something easy for him to complete so that his confidence grows as he progresses through this football game.
Again, Marcus Sims will be in the backfield. Big movement by Florida. They get back on side. Got to keep going here. You're going to run out of time. They just get this play off. In the backfield, a hit is made, and that's going to be for a loss. Marcus Sims on the carry and a little roughhousing on the field. That was Earl Everett, who moved in, their leading tackler at 69. 39 solos coming into this game. He got him in the backfield.
Junior Jackie Claude, big left guard for Florida State, mixing it up with some of those Florida defenders. Don't know if I want to get on his bad side. All 6'4", 295 pounds of him out of Edison High School in Miami.
Andre, this Florida State offense right now is non-existent.
No, it really isn't. I mean, they really can't throw the football. The running game has been non-existent pretty much all season long. They rank 100th in the entire country, if you can believe it or not. Florida State running the football.
Xavier Lee out of the shotgun. They've got 66 total yards. He gets blitzed, he gets hit, and it's thrown incomplete. And you are seeing why the controversy has gone on all year at Florida State, and why the offensive coordinator, Jeff Bowden, took a payout to get out of his contract that runs through next year. The son of the head coach, offensive coordinator. It has not worked. And over the years that he has been here, the numbers have gone down, 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 both in total numbers and in comparison nationally in national rankings. Jeff Bowden is going to stay in that offensive position through the bowl game, but once again, this is what Florida State's done all year. The defense has played well. The offense can't get it going. Gano comes in to do the kicking again. It's going to be another 3 and out. He's back at his own 8-yard line when he puts the boot on. Brandon James will take that one at the 32-yard line. A good punt. Florida takes over. 49-yard kick and no return. A 7-0 lead on a 66-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter, the only scoring we've had.
And you talk about Jeff Bowden and his struggles as the offensive coordinator, and these are averages here of where they've gone down in terms of since the year 2000, where they were ranked offensively in the run department, throwing the football, total offense, and scoring. Everything is down under his leadership as the offensive coordinator here at Florida State, and you can see why there was a lot of unrest among Florida State fans.
Yep. All right, Florida gets the football back. Immediately back out on the football field. Comes to the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Down the sideline and out of bounds near the 35-yard line. Percy Harvin. There is that #1 freshman prospect at a wide receiver, but he carries the football out of the backfield. Buster Davis drove him out.
Yeah, he may be one of the fastest wide receivers in the entire country, or fastest players in the country. You get him in space, and it looks like the varsity playing against the JV in terms of the speed differential. Around the corner, they block it up excellently. Big Carlton Metter, the right tackle for Florida, gets a great block out in front of Percy Harvin. And man, speed to burn.
He can run. The average is 8+ yards a carry. He got 28 on the last one. This time, though, in the backfield, right at the line of scrimmage, Deshaun Wynn's going to be brought down. How about that youngster, Todd?
No question, Gary. Depending on which publication you subscribe to today, we get a chance to see the two top-rated players coming out of high school last year. Now, the best part is they'll be going head-to-head. Florida State's Myron Rolle, a safety, is a true freshman. He rolled early at FSU. He's had an immediate impact on a very thin Seminole secondary. And for the Gators, it's that man, #1, wide receiver in the country last year, Percy Harvin. The two were teammates last year on the East-West Shrine game, but apparently there is no love lost between the two.
And a second down and 11 to the 40-yard line. 35-30 on the explosion at the 20-10. And a touchdown. There he is. Percy Harvin, whom we were just talking about. A 41-yard carry for the touchdown for Florida.
And they line him up, a direct snap to him, and then it's just downhill. And when you can get a guy with that type of speed and that type of shiftiness to get in behind a guy, get him going downhill, now the speed just takes over. They block it up, and it's just, I'm going to outrun everybody to the end zone. Todd just mentioned Myron Rolle playing against him in that All-Star game. Hey, couldn't even get to him there.
Hedlund will come on. The kick is up, and it is good. So the freshman Percy Harvin has runs of 17, 28, and this one 41 yards for the touchdown. Number 4, Florida extends their lead to 14-0. Plays on the scoring drive. Harvin with a touchdown.
Yeah, you talk about Percy Harvin being the #1 rated player coming out of high school last year, and then Myron Rolle, and then you throw in Jared Faison, who some publications was the #3 rated player coming out, or 3 rated receiver, and they had an excellent job, did an excellent job of recruiting here at Florida. They are set for quite some time.
Most considered the recruiting class last year to be either 1 or 2 in the nation for Florida, and as Urban Meyer said this week, he said we are an overload. He said we're top heavy with seniors and with freshmen. Don't have a lot of middle, junior, sophomore players.
Who cares? Who cares when you have that kind of talent on the bottom end of it?
If your freshman can play, right. You don't care if you got juniors and sophomores. All right, Florida State's going to get the football back as we've got 5:50 left to go here in the first half. Taking it at the 2-yard line. Garvin, 10 and 15. And gets away to the 20. Great effort to bring it up to the 25. It looked like he was going to be stopped at the 10. Our best by playbook.
Yes, kind of a little quarterback counter where you're going to see Percy Harvin take a step there. He's going to get the direct snap, and then the big guard, Jim Tart, is going to come and pull and counter. This is the counter play right here where he's going to kick out the in man on the line of scrimmage, who happens to be Geno Hayes, and now it's just all downhill and into the end zone for Percy Harvin.
And he celebrates over there after the congratulations from teammates. 14-0 lead. Florida State's got to do something now with this football. They've got a first down and a 10 at their own 25-yard line. And the snap is down at the 20. Xavier Lee in at quarterback, falling forward on that one. Wow.
Yeah, just a low snap. You'll see it hit him around the knees, just below the knee, and does a good job of just getting back on the football, but he's got to get a little bit better snap from his center, John Frady, who's their best offensive lineman. A lot of struggles going on offensively.
It's amazing
for this Florida State offense. Absolutely.
You're seeing the loss of confidence by an entire unit this year on this offensive team for Florida State. Can they get it back here? There's a high snap. This one is down the sideline, wide open. Had to come back to get it, fumbles it. Is it incomplete? The ruling is incomplete. Greg Carr, that big 6'6" receiver, whom they love to get one-on-one, and Xavier Lee loves throwing to him, did not have possession.
Yeah, just covered two. You see him get an inside release, but he gets right back outside, and a lot of space between Greg Carr and the safety to that side, and the ball got kind of came out funny from Xavier Lee. Had a lot of quack on it. Yeah, that Aflac duck, you know, it was quacking a little bit. But I tell you what, he did a good job just getting him the football, but you got to hold on to it. Too many drops for the receivers of Florida State.
Here we go again. It is another third down. They are 1 for 6 in third down conversion. At the 20, good block to the 25. Big second effort, nowhere near a first down. That is Lorenzo Booker on the reception out of the backfield, but it's going to be another 3 and out here for Florida State.
Yeah, you look at it, punt, a missed field goal, which was a golden opportunity to get something started early in this football game for Florida State. 3 punts to finish that off, and then one more you can write in there, another punt coming up.
The 4th time they have gone 3 and out in 6 possessions for Bobby Bowden Seminoles. The kick will come back from the 15-yard line. Gano is back there. He's getting a lot of work today. He's punted well so far. Puts this one down the near sideline. James comes over, won't get to him, and it will go out of bounds at the 35-yard line, where Florida will take over 1st and 10, a 38-yard punt. Near the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. To honor their determination, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Now Florida's going to get it back. 3:49 left to go. And Mr. and Mrs. Gator got a lot to cheer about so far today. A lot of Florida fans on hand here at Florida State. 7.8 yards of play this season, 8th best on the offense. And you've seen them start to pick that up here 2nd quarter, but not there. Tackle for a loss will be back at the 30-yard line when Llewellyn moved in. Andre Llewellyn had gone out earlier in this game after a hard hit. He's back.
Well, he gets tremendous pressure up the field, and you see him fight off the block of number 67, Drew Miller, right there, and then right into the backfield is Andre Llewellyn. No quit in this Florida State defense. They've given up 2 big plays, one to Andre Caldwell and then to Percy Harvin, but still in there in the trenches fighting it out. There's a pretty good defense on this football team.
Good play by Llewellyn. It'll cost them and bring up a 2nd down and 13 after a loss of 3. In the 25, that one is caught. No, incomplete at the 35-yard line. Percy Harvin coming across, leaked through it into a crowd, and Harvin is down on the field.
Yeah, he took a funny shot right around the top of the shoulder pads in the neck area. Boy, that didn't look too good. Well, you'll see him here just going to cross underneath, and right there waiting on him is Geno Hayes, and he takes a shot from another defender, which is Buster Davis. And I don't know if I want to ever take a shot from Buster Davis without having my eyes on him, where I can at least make him miss. And you see him right there, just kind of gets bent over, or kind of bent backwards a little bit.
His neck went back, and he took a shot on that left shoulder. Percy Harvin, who's had the big day, the freshman that we've been talking about down on the field for Florida, with 2:51 left to go here in this 1st half.
An excellent athlete. Percy Harvin was a captain of his basketball team his senior year at Lansdowne High School in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Todd told you, the nation's #1 recruit last year.
So a little quiet here. Harvin, obviously, Florida wants him in the football game because he's had a tremendous day on the last drive. Here he is.
Yeah, you see it right here. Visibility on the little pitch, and you get him outside. He's up the field and making plays once he's out in space. And then the nice little quarterback counter, and they start him one way, get him going the other, and it's just speed that gets Percy Harvin into the end zone. But right now there's concerns on that Florida sideline for his health at this point.
It has been speed today for Florida all around. Caldwell, great speed on the 1st quarter, 66-yard reception from Leak for the touchdown. And then the speed you saw there from Harvin, who takes it in on the 41-yard carry. So you've seen Florida speed in this game, and it's resulted in a 14-0 lead over Florida State.
Sunday starting at 9/8 Central.
I'm not desperate.
We're all desperate.
Well, obviously a hushed crowd here with Florida leading Florida State, with Percy Harvin for Florida taking that unusual and hard hit on that last play down on the field. You see his legs are moving there. They have called either for the ambulance or at least for the stretcher to come out to take him off the field here with 2:51 left to go in the 1st half. You get those, anything around the neck, head area, you don't want to move them even if the player wants to move, because you don't want to take any chances.
Yeah, better to just take the precaution and not really try to do too much. But you see him here, he's going to get hit low by Geno Hayes, and then Buster Davis comes in high, and it kind of twists his body backwards a little bit, and they're just going to make sure that Percy Harvin Here's okay. Like you mentioned, the good thing about this is that you see the movement of his legs. So
you don't see this very often. Those are the Florida State coaches who are out there on the field along with the Florida coaches, because they wanted to give him some help here in getting the medical crew out there. So while they do this, we're going to check in with John Saunders. John.
Thanks a lot. We hope that young man is okay, first of all, but we want to...
Around Urban Meyer on the far side. And Todd Harris is down there on the sideline. Todd?
Well, Gary, it's a very somber moment right now for the Florida Gators. The strength coach brought the whole team over, and they were huddled up, kneeling in prayer on their side. As Urban Meyer went out to the field, he went down and spoke with the young man. As you guys reported, his feet are moving, his hands are moving, but they're going to take every precaution. They're going to put him on a stretcher, and as Urban Meyer came off, he did give a thumbs up to some of his players. I don't know if that was signaling a new group to come in or something to change on the field, but he did come out and give a thumbs up. But the players for Florida right now huddling with their strength coach, offering up a prayer.
Well, it's always tough when you see one of your teammates down and unable to pop up and get himself back into a football game. You're okay if you see an ankle injury or something where a guy can at least get himself off the field, but when he needs aid to get himself off, that's tough.
So they will, with 2:51 left to go here, did get that medical crew out there. I believe we were waiting. They wanted to make sure they had a doctor out there, and that's what they have done. And now make the move. So Percy Harvin, the crowd is chanting his name.
What a show of class. An entire stadium, Florida alums, Florida State fans.
He obviously is talking to his teammates. Great sign. Could move his legs. Another very good sign. And they got him up on that stretcher, and obviously are in no particular rush to move him here after they got him up. So and you see him talking and moving his hand. So Percy Harvin, the freshman for Florida, taken off the field, and even before the half, he's already had a great football day. And there's the thumbs up.
There's the thumbs up.
Compared this to baseball, where the batter gets hit in the head with a beanball. Now the guys who are left have to somehow find a way to get back in and play this thing again. You stood over there, the emotions of
such an emotional game. Yeah. Absolutely. You can be so high on one play, and then something happens to bring you right down.
Third down and 13 for Florida with a football. Leak is back looking downfield, and that's going to be interference. No flag.
Well, it looked like Tony Carter got there a little bit early, trying to run a deep curl to Dallas Carter, pushing off. You'll see him here, and he's just going to curl back in to Chris Leak right at the first down marker, right inside. And you see Tony Carter working there, and boy, it's a surprise he didn't get a flag thrown on that play.
Nice use of the left shoulder. Leak is now 9 for 16, 153 yards and a touchdown. This is going to bring up a fourth down. Florida State's going to get the football back, as the punt will come from near the 20-yard line on this fourth down and 13. And still enough time, plenty of time left for Florida State to do something with it. Davis, it'll bounce, no return. And it will take a Florida State bounce at the 35-yard line. So Florida State will get it first down at 10, 33-yard punt. Thank you very much. Let's take a look at our Aflac trivia question. When was the last time Florida won 3 straight games against Florida State? Because they're trying for 3 straight wins here in this game. When's the last time they did it? Well, I'll give you the answer a little bit. This is the 51st meeting between these two teams. Drew Weatherford is back in at quarterback. Well, he started the game, came out for Xavier Lee. Now Weatherford is back in. On a first down and 10, Weatherford will roll, gets a big rush. He's going to get sacked, and the football goes out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
Well, and it got lucky there. You get outside the pocket, nobody's open. You're outside the tackle box. Let that one go in the stands. Right here, you see it. Right here. He's outside the tackle box. You feel the pressure. Raise that baby up and throw it, or tuck it away. And I'm not sure he was. Looked like he was trying to push it or shovel it forward. But you got to take care of the football. I had a coach one time that when we got going pretty good on offense, he'd say, we got them going now. They're dialing the defense. Right now, it seems like Florida State's dialing for quarterbacks because they don't know who they want under center.
It is 2nd down and 22 after that ball went out of bounds. Weatherford back in the pocket. Little dump pass near side at the 20-yard line up to the 21. Lorenzo Booker. And it is an offense without a direction that we have seen from Florida State so far in this game.
Stephen Harris in there, and you see it right here just in the backfield and kind of sniffing things out as if they knew the play here, and a lot of Florida Gator defenders around the football. Just tough going for Florida State on offense.
Not what Jeff Bowden wanted to see in this game, you know, since he's given up the job, but he's going to stay on it going through the bowl game. You'd love to see this offense do something. They have 52 net yards so far in this game. Just got that play off to the 25-30. Broke one tackle, but not the second. Down to the 31, Lorenzo Booker. He's not even back to the original line of scrimmage. And he did. They didn't get it off.
5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
It kind of looked like Florida defensively was just kind of standing there, maybe expecting the penalty when they gashed him for that big run with Lorenzo Booker. Turns out it was a delay of game penalty, so maybe the Florida defenders knew exactly that the play clock had run out, but just going backwards in this possession.
There you see the total yards today. Florida and Florida State 1 yard rushing and 53 passing. Bobby Bowden, who usually isn't on the headset, has been on it more today than normal. Long yardage, a 3rd down and 29. 3rd and 29, and they run it to Booker, who gets to the 23-yard line. Lorenzo Booker, and you hear the booing from the fans here at Florida State.
Yeah, maybe a late hit coming in, a little extracurricular for one of the offensive linemen from Florida State. So stay tuned. It may get even better here.
Yeah, there have been a couple of words exchanged at different times already.
Getting a little frustrated.
These teams know one another very well. Many of these players played against each other in school. A clipping call. Boy, we don't see many of those anymore. And that's going to go against Florida State as well. And now what you've got to worry about, if you're that man, is implosion. This team, they're only down 14-0 with a minute to go in the half. They are very much in this football game, but they got to be careful not to implode here. Keep things under control.
On the play, we have clipping, 67 offense. Half the distance to the goal. We'll replay the down.
Yeah, John Frady in the middle of your screen is working on Javaris Moss, and it's right here where it comes in. Backs turned to him, and you've seen that too many times where a player gets severely injured. When that takes place, really no place in football for an act like that.
Florida State continues going in the wrong direction. Bobby Bowden continues talking upstairs, trying to find an offense here. We're under a minute left to go in the first half.
Situation for just a screen or maybe a quick pass or just a run, trying to protect whatever little field position you have. You don't want to turn the football over down here if you're Florida State and give it to Florida at point blank range.
They used their last time out as Drew Weatherford came out and asked for it. So for Bobby Bowden, it's a search for the offense. His son, Jeff, the offensive coordinator, deciding to take a buyout that came from the university, buying him out at the end of this year. He talked about it at a press conference.
I want to thank the university. I want to thank Coach Bowden. And I want to thank these players that I've been fortunate enough to coach, because we've got great kids here, great athletes, great young talent, and they're going to have a great future. My biggest regret is that I won't be here the next time Coach Bowden gets to hold up the crystal ball. That's my regret.
He took a $537,000 buyout from the support group, the Seminole Boosters, Inc.
Do you want to buy me out for $537,000?
And there's a lot of discussion about How did that happen?
I'll let you buy me out for $537.
Yeah, they had to get, and everybody signed the deal, both the athletic director, the president of the Seminole Club, and he gets the money no matter what. If he finds another job, he still gets the money.
It's tough. I mean, you saw the struggles offensively and just the decline in where Florida State ranks nationally in all the categories. Every year for 6 years, just going down the ladder.
3rd and 35. Will take the football to the 12. The pushing and shoving continues. 33 seconds left to go in the first half. Florida State has used all of their timeouts, and Florida has as well.
Yeah, just trying to protect the football and not turn it over in a situation like that and give up field position that's already pretty bad.
All right, get that duck out of there. Our Aflac trivia question: the last time Florida won 3 straight against Florida State, 81 through 86. 6 consecutive games. They have won the last 2. They're trying to make it 3 in a row, and they're going to go into the dressing room at the half with a 14-0 lead. It is the 3rd time this season Florida State has been shut out in the first half. Florida State's offense had 55 total yards. That's it offensively for Florida State in this first half. Let's get out of Todd Harris. Todd.
Coach, down 14, Love, how do you get your game and your offense back on track?
Well, we just got no consistency. I'm tired of hearing me say that. But we got to protect our pass and throw and catch the football, and we're not getting much done.
Are you having one quarterback that has a hotter hand that you'll ride in the second half?
Well, you went with your first quarterback and nothing was happening. So then you go with second, nothing's happening. So we'll probably go back with a Drew and see if we can get something going.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you, buddy.
Boy, there is. We welcome you back. I'm Gary Thorne, Andre Ware, Todd Harris down on the field with us. Listen, even though Florida State's offense has been almost non-existent, one score, and they're right back in the game.
Right back in the football game. 2 big plays by this Florida offense has Florida State trailing 14-0. If they could just generate anything offensively to get some points, they're going to get themselves back in this ball game.
Go ahead, let's take a look
I'm looking at what do you say at halftime if you're Coach Bowden? And I think it's more of, you got to have some pride. This is your home stadium. These are the fans here. You owe something to the guys that have worn this uniform before you. So come out and give me some effort in the second half.
All right, we'll see whether or not that can happen as we are ready to go here in the second half. And Florida State will be kicking off here as Florida's going to get that football first. They do not want to return, so it is grounded all the way down to the 5, 3, and at the 2-yard line where it's finally picked up, and it worked. Down to the 7-yard line. So they decided with Brandon James back there, not wanting him to return it, to put it along the ground. Here are Pacific Life game summary.
Well, you look at it and just nothing really in the pass department, rushing yards, and we talked about it, 15-2-1 are the teams that win the rush battle, usually win this football game. Right now just being totally dominated on the grounds. Florida State, 113 yards rushing in the first half of this game.
Florida State defense now will go to work and try and get the football back. Florida wants to get that big score early in the 3rd to try and put this thing away. We have seen all 4 quarterbacks. Lee's had a big day. That's going to be completed and down at the 19-yard line to Andre Caldwell. Todd Harris.
Well, Gary, first and foremost, I talked with Coach Urban Meyer at Florida and asked him how Percy Harvin was. He said he's fine. He was in the locker room moving around. The problem was he went numb in his upper body, his upper shoulder area, and so they took x-rays precautions. Obviously, he is done for the day. I asked him about how his team was playing, what he thought. He said, you know what, all in all, our point coming into this game was keeping their great athletes in front of us. We've done that. He'd like to see better execution, though, in the red zone. Gary?
All right, let's see what they do here in a second down and short yardage with the football in the backfield. That'll be brought up for the first down to the 22. That is Wynn on the carry for Florida. In the rushing department, Wynn with 8 carries and 8 yards in that first half, and now we got another one down on the field. Boy, this has been a game. There has been no flow to this football game because of penalties and because of injuries.
Yeah, you see just a nice little counter play, and it didn't look like much. Didn't look like he took a big shot there, and following his fullback, Billy Lasco, into the hole, protects the football, and I didn't see very much there, but Deshaun Wynn still down.
And they've also got Drew Miller, a right guard, limping off the field for Florida. So 2 injuries on that play. There's Miller. He came out of that line. He is a junior guard and pulled himself off the field. Wow. And that's just the start here of the second half. Tonight, ESPN2 and ESPN offer up 2 important college football games. On ESPN2 at 4:15, number 12, Boise State, takes on the Nevada Wolfpack. ESPN 7:45 Eastern, number 20, Wake Forest. They'll meet the Maryland Terrapins with a spot in the ACC championship game on the line. Rivalry Week presented by Remington on ESPN, ESPN2 Saturday. So a hand for Deshaun Wynn, who leaves the field. Drew Miller and he are both off. A lineman and a running back. Florida got the first down, though. It is first down and 10. Chris Leak in there at the quarterback. Leak, 9 out of 16, 153 yards in the first half. Wants to carry it. Gets hit, gets away, gets hit, flags down at the 20-yard line. That is Tebow, and Lawrence Timmons moved in to put the hit on.
Well, Lawrence Timmons showed up, and one thing you knew coming out of halftime was this Florida State defense. They were going to come out to play this second half. And right now, they're all over the field against Florida. Gave up a first down, but they're a big shot to Tim Tebow.
Holding, offense number 42. It's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. We'll replay the down.
Well, we'll watch Tebow on the run, but listen for the lick by Lawrence Timmons. Ouch.
He is their leading tackler for a loss. He's had 5 sacks. He's tied for the lead in pass breakups. He is a tremendous football player. Now Leak is back in the game.
We talk about Tebow liking to run the football. I didn't like getting hit.
No.
Nor running the football back in the day.
All right, a first down and 20 from their own 10. This is Leak. Gets in the pocket. Gets it away as he gets hit. He just threw it away. The defense was all over him. So you had Tebow come in and try and run for a first down, get tagged for a loss. Leak comes in to try and pass for a first down. It's incomplete.
Yeah, they just try to throw what was equivalent to what we call a smash route, where there's a little underneath route at about 6 yards and a corner route over the top, and they're going to roll Chris Leak to it, but nowhere to go with the football. Florida State had it just manned up on defense very well, and Chris Leak nowhere to go. But what do you do with the smart thing? Throw it in the stands and come back on second down.
Mercy, a second down and 20. They'll try it again with 4 receivers to that left side, including the back in motion, and he's going to carry it to the 10.
I'll tell you right now, Florida is giving Florida State a chance to get back in this football game emotionally. This is a pressure-packed game, a rivalry game, and right now the best unit on your football team has gotten themselves involved. You're playing way behind the down and distance markers, and Florida State, look out. If they can hold here, they're going to have some excellent field position to start this second half.
That was Everett Brown, the defensive end, 99, who came in on that last play. A third down and 21 for Florida. Third down conversions. They are 4 out of 8. Back near the goal line, up to the 5 league, 10, 15, and out of bounds. Not even back to the original line of scrimmage. Good coverage, a 6-yard gain. And more good pressure put on in that backfield as this defense of Florida State came out a rumbling here in the second half for their coach, Mickey Andrews.
LaTroy Guyan, sophomore defensive tackle, giving chase to Chris Leak. And Florida State, if they can capitalize somehow on this field position, they can get themselves back in this football game.
Wilbur has punted twice, averaging 39.5 yards. Chris Davis is back for Florida State. The kick's going to come from the 5. Oh, how did he get that off? And it is a beauty. Hits at the 30 all the way back to the 19. Falls, dropped the football, but gets it back. What a punt. Kick. 64-yard kick. And no return. Chasing it backwards and almost popped up. Not the longest of his career. He booted one for 75. His career high, but a great kick. Florida State gets the football. First down and a 10. Looking to go to the air. Wide open at the 40-yard line. Down to the 43. That is Brandon Warren, the tight end. Reggie Nelson on the hit after a 24-yard gain.
Boy, you talk about a shot in the arm. The tight end over the middle, and they like him a lot. 23 receptions on the season, right in the middle of the field. Drew Weatherford, and that will do wonders for his confidence.
And note this, in the first half for Florida State, they ran 27 plays. Only 2 went for 5 or more yards. They open up here with a big pass play. Weatherford, again, straight up the middle goes Lorenzo Booker, their leading ground gainer and carrier in this game, and he may get a yard on that one.
You know, it was funny about Brandon Warren, the tight end that caught the pass over the middle. He was actually the defensive player of the year in Tennessee, 87 tackles and 14 sacks his senior year, and then comes into Florida State and it gets inserted right into the starting lineup as a tight end on the offensive side. They really, really like him.
He has had now games in which he's had 6+ receptions 3 times this year. A second down and 9, Florida State. They need a score and they're right back in it. Weatherford's going to get tackled for a loss. It'll be back at the 36-yard line as Stephen Harris put the hit on. Let's check in with Matt Weiner. Matt.
Gary, it's getting to be serious for West Virginia, losing at home to South Florida, headed toward the 4th quarter. Matt Grothe, he's had a nice day for the Bulls. Here he finds Ian Randolph, who does most of the work on a 21-yard catch and run. It's a 9-point game. South Carolina and Clemson, crazy. 6 turnovers, 56 points, and they're even at 28.
Interesting football games.
Wow.
Being played here in rivalry week. All right, a big 3rd down and 16 as they'll work out of the shotgun. Drew Weatherford for Florida State. Gets the rush, lobs one down the sideline at the 30. It is intercepted by Reggie Nelson. His 5th interception of the season, and he may have hurt himself as he went down.
Yeah, he climbed the ladder for that interception. It's like you mentioned, his 5th, and we saw the big hit he had on Joe Surratt, the fullback, who was kind of exposed early in this football game by Drew Weatherford. But this one you look at, and it's 3rd down and long, and you're just trying to take a shot. It's almost as good as a punt. But the downside of it is that the emotional turn, the momentum, goes right back to Florida after the big play to Brandon Warren. Now you come up with a turnover and an interception. Not bad in the grand scheme of things, but the emotional side of what an interception does there is hurts you as a football team.
Reggie Nelson is a finalist for the Nagurski Award, Best Defensive Player Award. He is the Jim Thorpe Award semifinalist for the best defensive back in the nation. And you saw nobody tackle him or anything, but when he made the interception, he came down very hard on that shoulder.
Yeah, Urban Meyer can't believe all the injuries so far in this game. We talked about Drew Miller, the right guard, trotting off the field, limping a little bit, and now his star safety, Reggie Nelson, out of Coffeyville Junior College, transferred in and having one heck of a season for Florida. He's down.
So the Weatherford on the interception. It is the 8th time this year he has been intercepted. Florida State again will give the football up, even though they did move it. In that 2nd quarter, the Florida State offense, their drives were for 7 yards, for -1, for 2, and for -24. So at least to start the 3rd quarter, we saw a little offense get going. But as has been the case throughout this football game, there is no rhythm, there is no flow, and it's largely been because of injuries and penalties. 14-0 Florida. Here in Tallahassee on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, number 4 Florida leading at 14-0. Caldwell on a 66-yard pass from Leak. Harvin on a 41-yard run have been the touchdowns. Florida State trying to pull the upset and take away any remaining hope for a BCS championship berth for Florida. They've got to get the offense going to do that. Florida's got the football 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. And a fumble! And Florida State, I think, got it! It is the 2nd turnover of the game, and they come on consecutive plays. Nelson on the interception gave Florida the football. The fumble recovery by Kevin McNeil gives Florida State the football.
All right, you know, and good football coaches try to capitalize on mistakes and turnovers or big plays in a football game. Right here, Florida State kind of Johnny on the spot. Right there, and making recovering the fumble, so to speak. Kevin McNeil But right now, look for Florida State to try to take a shot into the end zone here. You want to capitalize. You want to get yourself back in the football game. Don't try to run it. Florida shut down the middle of the field. Get to the outside edges out here in these one-on-one matchups.
Here's Drew Weatherford at quarterback. They're looking over the middle. It got tipped. Boy, that one could have been intercepted. Incomplete pass as he was trying to go over the middle with it, and it got bounced. Derek Harvey, the defensive end.
Well, you'll see him just get his hand on this baby. Drew Weatherford here, just outside and then back underneath, trying to go to the big tight end again, Brandon Warren. Derek Harvey with the big paw, knocking it down.
An outstanding football player, number 91, leads this team in sacks and tackles for a loss.
Yeah, he knows how to get to the passer.
It is a 2nd down and 10. Ball's at the 19-yard line. Weatherford out of the gun, and he's gonna get it away at the 15-yard line. Inside the 10, Joslin Shaw, junior receiver, with his first reception of the day. What a play by Weatherford for 11 yards.
Yeah, he was named the team's most improved wide receiver by this coaching staff coming out of spring practice. But how about the job by Drew Weatherford? Still keeping his eyes down the field and is able to locate Jocelyn Shaw. Now Florida State kind of operating at point-blank range here.
This is a great chance for State to get back into this game.
Absolutely.
Last 5 red zone trips for Florida State. They've scored only 2 touchdowns. Can they get one here? It is a 1st down and goal inside the 10-yard line. And it carried himself. Line of scrimmage, nowhere to go. Tackle made by Stephen Harris. And again, Weatherford is not a running quarterback. Todd Harris.
Well, all kinds of problems down here, as you pointed out, Gary. Injury problems. Right tackle Drew Miller is coming back for a 2nd tape job on that right ankle. Deshaun Wynn, it's a left shoulder injury. Sat out the last series. They're trying to get him back in. They've got ice on the shoulder. And Reggie Nelson, he came out, basically got his bell rung. They gave him some aspirin. Kept wanting to come back in. They said, "Are you sure you're okay?" He said, "I'm fine." I said, "Are you sure we're going to hold you up one more play?" And he was just chomping at the bit to get on the sideline. Finally got the sideline. He's back in the game.
You just saw him out there. Here's Drew Weatherford on a 2nd down and goal. And the 15, end zone, incomplete, and it had to be caught. Brandon Warren, even though he had to reach back, that ball's got to be caught.
And it was an easy read for Drew Weatherford because Brandon Warren wide open. The linebackers are trying to play inside the middle of the field's wide open in here for the tight end. All you do is give him a catchable football as he clears the linebackers. And right there, Drew Weatherford, we talked about it, a guy that's just not playing with a lot of confidence right now.
So it'll bring up a 3rd down. A 3rd down and goal. 1 for 9 3rd down conversions. You know, here you got a couple of downs to work with. Big Greg Carr is split to the near side. He's their big guy for the alley-oop pass. That's where he's looking over the middle. Intercepted! Intercepted in the end zone, and down at the 1 is Tremaine McCollum. Weatherford intercepted for the 2nd time in this game. They get nothing out of it.
Well, you never go over the middle of the field late, and you certainly don't force it. I thought he had Greg Carr coming underneath, and we just talked about it, Gary, a little while back, is that you have to give your playmakers an opportunity. Greg Carr's going to come underneath right in here, and Drew Weatherford skips him. There he is in the middle of your screen trying to force it to Chris Davis, but you have to allow your playmakers, get them the football and let them make plays with their legs, make play yards after the catch. You don't force it, especially late over the middle of the field.
McCollum with the interception. Now the Florida State fans want their defense to score with a safety with the ball at the 1-yard line. We've had 3 turnovers in the last 7 plays. Tebow is in at quarterback, the big running QB. He gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Boy, he barely got out of the end zone.
Florida State wants a safety, but they're not going to get it. The defense all out there with their hands up in the safety sign, but he got back outside the goal line before he was driven back.
Now look at this Florida State defense. You think they had taken a lot of responsibility on their shoulders in this football game? It's like, okay, we can't get anything going offensively. We're going to go out and win the football game on our side of the football. Right now, this is a challenge, and they're stepping up. in this situation so far.
2nd down and 10 from the 1-yard line. They keep Tebow in there. Tim Tebow, number 15, the running quarterback's going to pass. Just gets it off. It is incomplete. Good coverage at the 20-yard line. Intended for Dallas Baker, and Jamie Robinson, the freshman, right there with him.
A big situation for a freshman to be involved in. Jamie Robinson, Rock Hill, South Carolina, Northwestern High School, matched up against some pretty good receivers, and he's holding his own right here against Dallas Baker. Shows up a little early, but tackle, go through the receiver on your way to the football, and I tell you what, he knocks that one down. Florida State still look for him to bring some pressure right here, Gary.
It's about where's Waldo. It's where's the quarterback. It's Chris Leak back at quarterback now in the end zone, looking to pass, gets it out to the 5-yard line, and the tackle made at the 9, shy of the first down. That is Cornelius, Jamel Cornelius, oftentimes referred to as their MVP this year on the Florida offense.
Mention the fact he came into this football game averaging over 17 yards a reception. The big play guy, and certainly there almost came up big for Florida offensively as they almost converted 3rd down and long.
Now the kick's going to have to come out of the end zone. Eric Wilbur, who booted that 64-yarder on his first punt here in the second half. Chris Davis is back near midfield for Florida State. They're trying to set up a return. They guessed right, so he waited a long time. The kick will be taken at the 44-yard line up to midfield and brings it down into Florida territory. So Florida State will have a starting position at the Florida 45, a 47-yard punt, and a 12-yard return.
Some of the best field position they've had other than the fumble recovery. They had it down in the red zone, and now you got to find a way, and Drew Weatherford will be the guy once again. The fans aren't showing their support in that decision by Coach Bowden.
It is amazing, Andre, with this offense, as bad as it is for Florida State.
And they have playmakers. I mean, they've got Dakota Fagg is a playmaker. Chris Davis, playmaker. The freshman tight end, Brandon Warren, they've got playmakers.
But they're one score away from being right back in this football game. Looking to the near side. No rush. Has time. Going for the end zone. Inside the 5, alley-oop caught. And at the 1-yard line, it is complete to Dakota Fagg. At the 1-yard line, the junior for a 44-yard pass reception. There may be the one play.
As one of the playmakers right there, Dakota Fagg went up, climbed the ladder. Drew Weatherford in the scramble drill. Right here, you'll see him get a nice release off the line of scrimmage. Inside is going to go to the post, but then he sees his quarterback scrambling around, and I'm going to take the deep way to the end zone. Right here, just throw it up, let me climb the ladder and make a play. And right out at the inch line was Dakota Fagg, and a good job by, as much as he's been criticized throughout this ball game, Drew Weatherford throws a nice catchable ball to the outside, allows his receiver to go up and make a play, and boy, they better get one snapped in a hurry.
Dakota Fagg at 6'3", using his height against Ryan Smith at 5'10" to haul that in. So here we are, for all we've said about Florida State's offense not working. Look at this.
Well, look at this, and I'm not sure this is a catch. After you look at it, it's kind of hanging on his hip. One foot is in, but I'm not sure there's enough evidence to overturn this one because the official, now we get a little different angle, and I'm not sure that one's going to show it. It's kind of hanging on him. Yeah,
he's got it.
It's a catch.
Indisputable evidence is necessary to overturn the call. The call on the field is it was a reception. And I think that's a good call, and I don't think you've got indisputable evidence that it wasn't.
He actually gained further control of the football as he hit the ground. It didn't come out. It's kind of hanging right there. You're just sitting there. You see the right foot's out, the left one's in, and that
tough call.
Florida State, I want to get up and run a play real quick.
They can't now because the review, the referee has gone over to the sideline.
They should plead.
Plead Nolo and let's go.
That's it. But you see it here and just kind of hanging on. I think that's a catch. I really do. The only question is going to be the right foot. If you look at it, where he's trying to possess the football, that foot's in. That one right there is on the line.
Does he have possession in the field of play?
It doesn't look like it before this right foot comes down, it looks like it's kind of out, and right there is where the question is.
After review, there's indisputable video evidence that the receiver did not control the ball while inbound.
Wow.
Therefore, the pass is incomplete.
It was just the right
ball
foot.
Placed on the 44-yard line, second down.
It was the right foot that was out of bounds when he finally gained control of it, and that's why I was sitting there saying you might want to get up and try to snap the ball real fast, because this one may come back.
What a tough call for Florida State, as they had it down to the 1-yard line if it's a catch, but it wasn't. And Dakota Fagusaif shaking his head, obviously believing he had it. So now you got to suck it up and do it again.
You got to find Greg Carr and get him involved in this football game as well. You talk about 6'6", with a 36-inch vertical jump, and really hadn't been thrown to or looked at a whole lot in this football game.
There he is, split to the near side. He's got 27 receptions. He leads the team with 10 TD catches. So we are back for a second down and 10. Weatherford on the out to the 40-yard line. Taken up near the first down marker and out of bounds. Good second effort to Cody Fagg. That's what you want to see. Guy came right back to get a 9-yard gain. Let's check in with Matt Weiner. Matt.
Gary, here's a vote for the Pontiac game-changing performance of the day. South Carolina scored 14 straight to tie it up at 28. It looked like Nathan Pepper was going to put him ahead for good on the interception, but James Davis catches him at the goal, knocks it loose for a touchback instead of touchdown. It remains tied at 28. To vote for your Pontiac game-changing performance, just get yourself to ESPN.com and type in keyword Pontiac.
South Carolina trying to upset Clemson in their game. Time running out on the play clock. Third down and 1. They will get the first down. Down to the 20, the 15, the 10, 5. Dives and did not get in. But Lorenzo Booker right back where we started. He's down to the 1-yard line. 34 yards on a third down short yardage plunge.
Yeah, Florida, they blitz and they pay the price. When you have playmakers and speed to go along with it, it's gonna, you expose yourself, and all you got to do is crack the line of scrimmage. They blitz from the edge here, and he's gonna find a crease right up the middle of the formation in here, and all of a sudden it is off to the races. But Reggie Nelson, not only is he a hitter, but he can track you down with his speed from the free safety position.
It is first out and goal for Florida State. The handoff, straight ahead charge, touchdown, Joe Surratt! And Florida State is right back in this football game.
They go with the big fullback who leads them in touchdowns, Joe Surratt. 5 touchdowns coming into this football game, but it was set up by Lorenzo Booker with a big run right up the middle.
Before that run by Booker, Florida State had a grand total of 5 yards rushing. Then a -5 rushing, and he took that one down to the 1. They scored the touchdown. Now the extra point attempt to be made here. What a big play for Florida State here in the third quarter to get themselves back in this game. Sismatia's kick is up, and it is good. Gary Sismatia puts it up. He is 33 out of 34 in PATs. There is Lorenzo Booker. We said this week it's a matter of pride for us. I want a big game. His last game at home, he is making it that. He has had a tough time of it over the years here at Florida State. He's a great player. The expectations were enormously high for him, and they never quite seemed to be reached. Never quite there. He said, I want one more time to jump into the mosh pit here at home before I leave Florida State, which they will do if they win this game. Well, his big run set up the touchdown. Surratt took it in. 4 plays, 44 yards, took only 39 seconds.
And now you're talking about a football team that's playing with a highly energized defense.
And the kick will be taken at the 10. Brandon James. James to the 30. And down at the 33-yard line. He was flying up the middle and got hit hard. He's a good returner. 23 yards on that one. There you see what Booker has meant to this program compared to one of their all-time greats.
Yeah, you compare him against Warwick Dunn, and You see the rushing differences in the yards rushing, but I'll tell you, he's shown up big right now in a very big, probably the biggest ball game of his career as a senior on his way out, and wanted to play well today and certainly asserting himself at this point in the ball game.
Florida's lead has been cut to 7. They've got the football, good field position on the option pitch. 30-yard line. This defense is fired up. This Florida State defense right now has got a fire lit under him. Brandon James for Florida in the backfield gets taken down. You can see they're just all over the place. That freshman roll again got in there.
Yeah, and just kind of out of sync right now. Look how deep the pitch relationship is between Chris Leak and Brandon James. And now look at all the jerseys and helmets for Florida State show up at the football.
A loss of 3. Leak out of the shotgun. Second down, long yardage. Has time. Can't find anybody. Flag goes down. Dumps it off at the original line of scrimmage. There the tackle is made. Moore gets hit. Keyston Moore, first reception of the ball game for the sophomore, gets knocked down at the line of scrimmage. A face mask is going against Florida.
And that may explain why the helmet was flying off. But right now, Florida State defensively, and we talked about it, I'm going to take the responsibility on our shoulders and get this football team back in the game.
Personal foul, face mask, 75 offense, 15-yard penalty. We'll replay to that.
That's the big one. Phil Troutline, the left tackle. When we talk to the coaching staff in Florida, you'll see it at the top of your screen right here. There's too much face mask. Oh, that's not right. Alex Boston like on the bad end of that exchange.
It's like you wanted a souvenir to take home.
Let me have that, baby, for my trophy shelf, the trophy case at the house.
A second down and 28. Florida State fans revved up for their defense. Leak in the pocket over the middle. It is incomplete at the 45-yard line. Triple coverage on Cornelius Ingram, a sophomore who's had 7 receptions in the last 2 games coming in, but has not been a part of the offense receiving in this game for the Gators.
Yeah, they got him matched up against Buster Davis down the middle of the field. They feel like that's an advantage. Cornelius Ingram at 6'4", 225. Buster Davis at just 5'10", that he could go over the top of him and make a play, but Buster is one heck of a football player and has been all season long.
Has he ever? 4 for 10 in third down conversions for Florida. Leak steps up to the line of scrimmage. He's 11 out of 20 in the air, 171 yards. Leak with 5 receivers, gets a rush from the ends over the middle, caught, not a first down. At the 28-yard line, that is Ingram again, the sophomore, on the reception, that they're going to be well shy of a first down, and the defense gets a standing O.
And you hear it from this crowd. Now all of a sudden, you've got some electricity in this stadium. Florida State football players feed from that electricity from this football stadium, and you watch them offensively kind of get themselves back a little bit closer in this football game.
Wilbur's in to punt again, standing at the 15-yard line. Back is Chris Davis at his own 30. Takes a couple of steps, doesn't want to return, gets a great kick. That's going to go inside the 30-yard line and down to the 26. But the Florida State defense got the job done. They've gotten the football back to their offense with 2:54 left to go in the third. Let's check in with Todd again.
Well, Gary, part of that defense at Florida State is Buster Davis. He's been there all year, but most of the time he's been number 7 since he's been here in Florida State. This year, though, playing his final game at Doak Campbell Stadium, Buster asked permission of Florida State defensive great Ron Simmons if he could honor him by wearing his number 50. So today, Buster Davis, for the first time in his career, is sporting the number 50 for Ron Simmons.
What a great honor that is.
Absolutely.
Great move. All right, Florida State with the football. Drew Weatherford back in at quarterback. 2 receivers each side. Weatherford a rush. Didn't see it coming. Completes it to the 30, 35. Up to the 40 and the 42. Wow, Chris Davis. What a run after the reception. 16-yard gain for the senior wide receiver.
Good job by Drew Weatherford as well, keeping his composure. Derek Harvey coming off the end, and you'll see him around the corner working against Mario Henderson, but just gets it out of there on time. And now playmakers making plays. Chris Davis in the open field, yards after the catch.
And that's something Bobby Bowden has talked about all year that Florida State did not have. That they were not picking up yards after the catch. They were doing that, and do you get the sense that Weatherford is like finding the confidence again? He is back, looking deep. He lobs one down the sideline. Is it intercepted? Yes, it is. At the 15 by Ryan Smith, a team-leading 7th interception this year.
Well, just as you think you got things ironed out and smoothed over and you want to make a play and give Cody Fagg an opportunity to make a play, he goes inside, and Drew Weatherford's going to throw this football outside to where the defender's located. Now it's an easy adjustment for Ryan Smith to come up with the interception, but you talk about a guy that has had one outstanding season. That young man, at least once a week, has text messaged Urban Meyer to just say thank you for the opportunity to become a Florida Gator.
That is the 3rd interception in this football game. Tebow is now in at quarterback for Florida again, so Leak is out. Tebow in, who likes to run the football, but not against this defense right now. Bud Thacker, the freshman defensive tackle, moved in on the hit.
You know, with all the punishment that Tebow takes, I know he's a big physical guy at 6'3", almost 230 pounds, but you got to wonder if that's going to wear on him over time. And I'm sure that next year, when he's the quarterback of this football team, they're going to use him a little bit differently when Chris Leak has gone to graduation.
And Chris Leak is back in, so Tebow runs only one play, gain nothing. It is a 2nd down and a 10. Back inside the 10 to pass. It is bounced at the 20-yard line, incomplete. Threw that one down low for Andre Caldwell, and Myron Rolle, the freshman, again on the play.
And that's a true freshman. Looks pretty good in that uniform, doesn't it? It does not look like a true freshman. You talk about just a physical presence. 6'2", 217 pounds of just nothing but athlete. And when he shows up right here, you watch him, and he's going to come through Andre Caldwell.
Another big 3rd down play. Florida's had only 28 yards this quarter offensively. Florida 4 for 11, 3rd down conversions. Leak gets rushed out of the pocket. It's a scramble at the 10. Gets hit, throws it away into the Florida State bench.
The best thing I liked about that play was Alex Boston. You're working hard as a defensive lineman, and you get close to getting yourself a lick on the quarterback. It's hard sometimes to pull out, or pull off when you get him close to the sideline. He pulls off and doesn't pick up that roughing the passer penalty, which is going to allow Florida a chance to punt the football here. Florida State's going to get it back with some good field position.
Boston already over on the bench. The junior, 264-pounder. Wilbur back to kick again. He only had 2 kicks in that first half. This one is going to be booted short and taken at the 40-yard line. He was still trying to get back to receive that kick. He was literally running backwards. Patrick Robinson.
Yeah, once that knee touches, you're down, though.
And I wonder he didn't fumble that one in the position he was in, but he didn't. Tonight, big football continues. The Trojans and the Fighting Irish at the Coliseum. Big BCS implications. Saturday Night Football ABC, part of Rivalry Week, presented by Remington. It's 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific tonight. 1st down and 10, Florida State. Before the ball was snapped, flags down. 31 seconds remaining here in the 3rd in what has turned into a great football game.
Defense, number 93. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Yeah, right now, Florida defensively helping this Florida State offense out a little bit. You got to take your hat off to the defense of Florida State.
Oh, they turned the game around.
Yeah, turned it around, and now has provided some pretty good field position, and that's what it boils down to in a lot of instances in a football game, is who in the latter stages has the better field position with an opportunity to score and put themselves either back in the game or go ahead.
13 seconds and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Looking to pass again. On the out, it is incomplete. Drew Weatherford throwing that one into the bench. Chris Davis, the intended receiver, stops the clock with 4 seconds left to go. Bobby Bowden on the sideline looking for a season-saving upset.
Well, he's changed hats. He had another lid on in the first half. Maybe this is the good luck hat.
He didn't like the way that first lid was going, and it's worked so far.
That's right.
They've had a much better third quarter than they had first half.
Stay with the baseball cap, Coach.
It'll bring up a second down now, a second down and 5. They'll put 3 over in the slot on that right side. Weatherford, 3-step drop. It is incomplete at the 20-yard line. Lorenzo Booker.
Yeah, this one's coming back. It's going to be a false start. Somebody along that offensive line jumped for Florida State.
And it's going to conclude the third quarter. So Florida State gets back into this football game here in the third with a touchdown to make it 14-7. Florida's chance at a BCS Bowl championship bid is slim. It will be none if they lose this game. That is the hope of Florida State, to put that kind of a dagger into the season for Florida. And
illegal motion. Offense number 1. That penalty is refused.
And they've got a chance to do it in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. When you look at it, I thought Florida coming in here and everybody saying, well, they still have a chance. But I think style points, when you look at it, they had to come in here and basically dominate this football game and then in the SEC championship game along with it.
They have not dominated this. They still may win it.
Nights at 5, 6, and 10.
Down to Greg Carr. There's the big guy we've been talking about.
Yeah, just kind of waiting on him to call his number. And anytime you have that kind of physical talent at 6'6" in the hands that Greg Carr has, you try to get him the football. It's his first catch of this ball game. Really hadn't even looked to him a whole lot, but you know, I'm the quarterback. I got to figure it's easy to throw to those big guys. They catch it out away from their bodies. You don't have to throw the perfect pass to a guy like Greg Carr.
He's on the far side. Greg Carr is top of your screen. I think he got his shoe fixed. As it is a first down and 10. They're looking to him again in the corner. Carr's pushing, shoving. He's got it. Touchdown! No mercy!
Well, they get down in the red zone. That type of physical talent right there is why you throw the football to Greg Carr. Let him go up, climb the ladder, and he has such good hands and leaping ability. 36-inch vertical jump for a guy 6'6" is just downright unfair.
He beat Reggie Lewis, who's only 5'10". Now for the extra point to tie this game. Gary Sismasia's kick, and do you believe this?
You know, there's a rumor that when you show up, good ball games happen. It's taken me a while, but I believe it now.
Just follow me and follow Mr. Carr at 6'6". Fourth quarter, it's tied. These Florida State fans are on their feet. Drew Weatherford, the quarterback, 3 interceptions in the third quarter. Overcame that. Gets himself a touchdown pass that ties this thing up. Give him credit. He hung in there and he got the big guy in the end zone.
And give credit to that Florida State offensive staff for hanging with Drew Weatherford through those 3 interceptions and to get to this point in the game where he can throw the touchdown pass to tie it up.
Don't want the return. They run that one along the ground. Picked up at the 12. Brandon James. James will be gang tackled at the 25-yard line, where Florida will take over 1st and 10. In a rivalry that has been pocketed with upsets since it started in 1958. The trend may be continuing here. Both of these institutions have had enormous upset games, and the rivalry has been renewed. For the Gators in the third.
Yeah, right here just wasn't good. Total offensive yards, only 28 in the entire third quarter. 1 first down, 0 for 4 on third down situations in that third quarter for Florida.
Chris Leak is in at quarterback. He rolls to the near side. 30-yard line, completes it, driven out of bounds at the 32, shy of the first down. Andre Caldwell, 5-yard gain. Roger Williams drove him out. Caldwell has been a big factor in this football game for the Gators.
Well, when you talk about throwing the football to your left or rolling left and throwing it, I don't know if I've seen a guy as good as Chris Leak in terms of squaring his shoulders up and completing the football. He gets him squared up and throws an accurate pinpoint pass.
That is a tough pass to throw. Through 3 quarters, 12 out of 23 for 184 yards for Leak. He's added another one here. Leak at his own 25, gets the big rush, gets the completion, and will get the first down. Dallas Baker made sure he had gotten up to the first down marker and then was driven back on the tackle.
Well, they're asking Jamie Robinson to really grow up in a hurry. He's one-on-one outside with the dangerous Dallas Baker, and in press coverage in that situation, no help over the top, and when it is, it's from the middle of the field. So we're looking for Florida to try to formation them back to that type of set defensively and maybe take a shot to Dallas Baker over the top. They are right back in it again.
Baker has had 3 receptions. Caldwell leads the team in receptions with 7. Leak looking downfield. A lot of time to throw, goes short, and driven out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Cornelius Ingram on the reception, the sophomore.
Well, now you see the senior leadership, or that experience, really start to pay off for Urban Meyer and his football team offensively with Chris Leak under the center. Cool, calm customer. A lot's happened. Florida State's back in this football game, but Chris Leak will not flinch.
He is 32-12 as a starter, a senior who's been there for 4 years. It is a 2nd down and 4. They'll work out of the shotgun with Leak in there at quarterback. He wants to take it himself up the middle. He's got the first down. Right at the first down marker where he gets driven down into the turf. Our Pacific Life game summary.
Hey, look at here, kind of closing the gap in terms of pass yards, still way behind in rush yards in this football game. Florida State, but only thing that matters, I think the thing that equals it out are the penalties for Florida, but all that matters is what's on the scoreboard, and right now we're sitting at 14 apiece.
They will bring the chains out to take a look here.
Oh, he got it.
About the end of the football, about half of it actually. So they pick up the first down. Florida driving. We're in the 4th quarter, 13-22. Game is tied at 14-14. This series, Florida has won the last 2 games played. Bobby Bowden is hoping for the upset here for Florida State. In this long and rocky road season, they could win this one. Makes a ton of difference. First down and 10. Florida trying to move the ball into Florida State territory. Again, Leak will stay back in the gun. Over the middle, gets the rush, completes it, shy of midfield. That is Moore, the sophomore running back, for a 2-yard gain. Bring up a 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, Buster Davis there again, along with Geno Hayes, who basically was the ACC Player of the Week after the Miami game. They turned in such a fabulous game defensively, Geno Hayes, but then they had just a tandem, or 3 of the best linebackers in the entire country. You talk about Buster Davis, Geno Hayes, and you throw in Lawrence Timmons. 3 pretty good ones.
Very good. 2nd down and 8. They are very fast up front. Their linebackers great tacklers. Leak looking from the near side. He'll just throw that one away as he got hit as he let it go. Chris Leak was under pressure that time. Cornelius Ingram was the intended receiver as Lawrence Timmons was putting the pressure on him.
Yeah, big down here for Florida State. You say that, and it's like, well, at this stage, every down's big. No, this one's big in terms of what we were talking about earlier, field position. You want to stop Florida and get yourself some pretty good field position here. If they even advance the football, they can pin you deep on 4th down. Now, all of a sudden, that advantage flips over to the Florida defense.
4 for 12 in 3rd down conversions. 3rd down and 8. Florida State trying to get the football back. Leak at his own 40. On the mark at the 30 and down to the 25-yard line. Dallas Baker again, his favorite target. Tony Carter hit him, but a 25-yard gain.
Boy, they've shown zone coverage in certain situations in 3rd and long, but here they bring the house. Now it's just one-on-one with Tony Carter in body position. That big frame, 6'3", of Dallas Baker gets inside position on Tony Carter, and they pick up the blitz and gives Chris Leak time. He's going to locate and find those fabulous receivers on the outside.
Baker has over 2,100 yards in his career in receptions. Leak 5 for 6 on this drive. A first down and 10. They got the option going on the reverse. Nowhere to go. Big loss. Back to the 36, Andre Caldwell on a dangerous bit of globetrotter ball handling.
Well, you talked about the speed of this Florida State defense right there. They try to catch him off balance and then do that little flip and the end around to Andre Caldwell. Catch everybody flowing to the opposite side and then come back the other way with Andre Caldwell. But right there in position, a bunch of Florida State defenders led by Geno Hayes.
Talk about staying at home on defense.
Absolutely.
They did right there. That'll bring up second down and 19 now with the ball marked back at the 36-yard line. Leak looking over the middle, finds a receiver. It is caught at the 25 near the original line of scrimmage. Cornelius Ingram, the sophomore, hauled it in.
Yeah, caught it on the second attempt, tipped it, and then was able to bring it in with a couple of Florida State defenders draped over him. But just an athletic tight end. That's how the coaching staff, when you talk to Dan Mullen, the offensive coordinator, that's how he described Cornelius Ingram. Just an athletic guy, moved a tight end from quarterback during the season last year.
Another big third down play for Florida. Third down and at 9. They're in Florida State territory. Leaks going into the end zone with it. A lot of bumping. It is caught. Touchdown! Dallas Baker. He beat Tony Carter on the 25-yard touchdown pass. What a job by Chris Leak and company.
Yeah, what a job. What a job of standing in the pocket when you know you're going to get hit in the chops. And he takes a nice lick from Michael Ray Garvin, who is blitzing outside. They leave Tony Carter again matched up one-on-one with Dallas Baker, and he has no chance of defending that pass.
Chris Hetland puts the extra point up and good. So there you see why Florida is ranked number 4. The touchdown that tied it, they come right back and get the lead back 21-14. Drive for Florida. Catches a 24 and 25 yards for the go-ahead touchdown. His 9th touchdown catch of the year, the 20th of his career. Chris Leak went 7 of 8, 79 yards and a TD pass. A great drive, and there is Dallas Baker.
And Chris Leak did not flinch on that drive. His team needed a drive and a score after a big play and a big momentum swing in this football game. And you talk about just a steady, cool, calm customer. Chris Leak delivered for his team.
Now Florida State gonna have to do it again. And the kick will come to the 2-yard line. Garvin, 15, 20, 25, 30. Got the kicker to beat. 50. Can he do it? Can he do it? 30, 20. He stepped out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds.
Well, they're going to say stepped out around the 47-yard line. Oh, he had to throw a move on the kicker who was inside and one other Florida player, but this one's going to come back. Well, an outstanding job, and you just kind of keep an eye on his right foot as he plants, and he's trying to make number 6, Jamel Cornelius, miss. And right there, you see it right on the out-of-bounds line, and a good job and a good call by the officials.
You marvel at the officials who are able to see.
And when it's going full speed like that, absolutely.
100 miles an hour. What a return. There have been some plays that were almost. It is still a 47-yard return to give Florida State great field position with 10 minutes to go in the football game. Weatherford is back in there at quarterback over the middle, caught. And to the 45-yard line, down into Florida territory is Chris Davis. Today's ACC Conference Update presented by Dr. Pepper. The big story, he is gone. There'll be a new head coach at Miami.
Yeah, a lot of rumors about that job opening up. Greg Schiano up at Rutgers, his name's kind of surfacing. Even Steve Spurrier at South Carolina.
I raised my hand on Spurrier.
I would tend to agree with you. He's saying all the right things about wanting to stay in Columbia, but you never know once they really come after you.
Greg Carr, the big receiver to the near side. It is a second down and 3. Picks the ball up, gets the first down, and dives to the 35-yard line through Weatherford. Make a little something out of nothing.
It ain't pretty, but it's effective. I mean, just right now, Florida State's showing some resiliency right here. Ball's on the ground. Drew Weatherford, the presence in mind to pick it up and get north and south, pick up the first down, move the chains, and all of a sudden, I think Drew Weatherford is finding somewhat of a rhythm, especially throwing the football. He's getting it out. He's not holding on to it. When guys hold on to the football, that means that they're not very confident throwing it. Right now, he's getting the football out of his hand.
There's no question here in the second half. This is the Drew Weatherford we've seen last year and earlier this year. Much more confident. Big rush. Gets it off as he was hit.
Oh, I thought a flag was coming there. It looked like the Florida cornerback to that side may have grabbed a hold.
Jermaine McCollum was the man putting the heat on Drew Weatherford. McCollum got in there and nailed him just as he let the football go. And there were no flags down.
It looked like maybe Earl Everett in the secondary there just kind of grabbed a hold of Dakota Fagg. I for sure thought the officials were going to come with a flag on that play for an interference call.
Second down and 10. Weatherford looking on the out pattern. It is caught and driven out of bounds down to the 29-yard line. We welcome those of you watching Missouri, Kansas. We are in Tallahassee, the home of Florida State, where a 14-0 Florida lead has disappeared to a 14-14 tie, only to have Florida answer to make it 21-14. The rushing yards.
Yeah, 15-2-1 is the team that wins that rushing battle. And right there, passing yards, first downs, kind of dominated statistically by Florida, but they only lead by 7 points.
A big third down for Florida State. Third down and 4. Looking incomplete as again the heat was on. Weatherford got dumped by Derek Harvey that time, the big defensive end, who, as we mentioned, leads this team in both sacks and tackles for a loss this year.
And coverage by Ryan Smith, who came up with his 7th interception in this football game, and a tremendous pass rusher there, Derek Harvey. But there he is, Ryan Smith, 7 interceptions on the season, a guy that transferred, graduated early out of Utah in the summer, and that new NCAA rule provided him the opportunity to transfer to Florida without having to sit out a year, and took some summer school classes, came in just before two-a-days, inserted him into this lineup, and he has been fantastic for Urban Meyer.
Florida State wanted a timeout. They want to decide what to do here. Do you go for it? It is 21-14 Florida, hoping to keep those slim hopes alive at that BCS championship game. Florida State looking for the upset. Here's the big call right here, as Florida State's Bobby Bowden on the sideline brought his quarterback over, Drew Weatherford, to have the chat.
And you maybe get him out on the edge, maybe a run pass option where he's got a receiver or two to go to with the football, or he can tuck it and run for the first down. I don't disagree with the call, 4th down and 3. Your defense is playing excellent football. Go ahead and take the shot right here.
They are 4 for 7 in 4th down conversions this year. Weatherford down by 7. Florida State looking to keep the football under attack, throws it, completed but shy of the first down. Threw it under pressure to Brandon Warren, the tight end, and he'll be about a yard shy of a first down, which will give Florida the football back. Harris moving in to make sure there was pressure.
Yeah, tremendous push and tremendous pressure by Stephen Harris up front, and they're going to be about a half-yard short on this spot. So now Florida State defensively going to have to rise to the occasion once again against a hot Florida offense.
Florida State's defense made this a football game in the second half, coming out fired up and ready to go. They got the football back. They gave their team, their offense, an opportunity to score with great field position. Now they got to do it again.
Need to visit that old bakery, try to get them a turnover here.
Yep. Florida's got the football, first down and a 10. It will carry. He'll be down at the 25-yard line, right at the line of scrimmage. Bud Thacker again moving in on the hit. That's just a freshman defensive tackle.
Yeah, Bud Thacker, he's a powerful inside presence for a pass rusher. You know, he started 2 games this year as a true freshman against Boston College in Maryland. He's a guy that gets tremendous push up front. Andre Fluellen went out. He stepped right in, and they haven't missed a beat.
We have seen both Chris Leak at quarterback and Tim Tebow, the running quarterback for Florida. Leak, though, has had the primary time in this game. Leak back and looking over the middle. It is caught on a great third effort by Andre Caldwell for a first down. Their leading receiver, a 12-yard gain.
That is the difference right there between an offensive player and a defensive player. Buster Davis has an opportunity to make a play on that football. He's waiting on it to come to him for the interception. Andre Caldwell goes to the football or comes back to Chris Leak. That's the difference in an interception and a completion on that play.
Chris Leak has had a heck of a second half. Caldwell's got 8 catches for 124 yards in this game. And an enormous first down for Florida. Leak out of the gun, over the middle, caught 40, and down to the 45-yard line, shy of a first down by a yard, is Jamel Cornelius. Matt Wider in our studio, a Sports Center in-game update.
And Gary, it has gone final in Morgantown. West Virginia had turned it over just 12 times all season, but Pat White is picked off by Trey Williams. The 4th turnover of the game. Jim Leavitt is wet and happy. His Bulls pull off the biggest win in the short history of that program.
And they will go to their 2nd bowl game ever. What an enormous win for that program. Looking into the flats, big hit. Was the ball caught? Was it caught? No. No fumble. Incomplete pass. Andre Caldwell could not hang on, hit by Tony Carter. Carter went right through him on that one. Well, it'll go as an incomplete pass.
Yeah, and you look at it right here, just a nice play by Tony Carter. He's been picked on when they put Dallas Baker. They try to isolate him one-on-one with the larger receivers. But right there, playing big and delivering a big shot, Tony Carter.
And, you know, you look at that South Florida win, that Miami job's open. He's right down the street. So maybe Jim Leavitt, I know he said he doesn't ever want to leave South Florida. But, boy, that'd be an excellent hire, in my opinion.
Third down, short yardage. Tebow, the running quarterback, is stopped. He does not get the first down. The Florida State defense, knowing he was going to carry the football, because that's what Tebow does when he comes in, they got down low on the line of scrimmage.
And no decision here for Florida. You punt the football and play defense. Their defense is playing outstanding right now. They're hot. They're getting after Drew Weatherford. And you see right here the old wing T formation where they snap it to Tim Tebow, and he's just going to get downhill in a hurry. No push, though, because Florida State, the pad level's a little bit lower than the Florida offensive players.
Big kick now with 5:38 left to go. Chris Davis will be back at his own 10-yard line. The kick, Davis is going to have to watch that one bounce. It'll take a Florida State bounce and will be at the 21-yard line where Florida State will take over. 34-yard kick by Eric Wilbur. And Florida State's got it back. Time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental Report. We'll have the scores and highlights. John, Craig, and Doug will be back in New York on what is already proving to be an interesting day in football for that Notre Dame USC game coming up tonight on ABC. 5:22 to go. The clock is running.
Plenty of time. 2 timeouts for this Florida State football team. A lot of time in college football. As you get a first down, clock's going to stop anyway.
Drew Weatherford at quarterback, 3 receivers near side. Over the middle, it is caught, 25, and a great second effort for a first down. Carried up over the 30-yard line by Chris Davis for an 11-yard gain, the senior wide receiver.
Well, you can see just the ability to make plays. And they have the playmakers with Dakota Fagg and Greg Carr, the big outside receivers, and then the smaller guy and Chris Davis, who can make plays as well. You just got to find a way to get them the football.
Weatherford looking for the win at quarterback. He's taken that job back. Even though we have seen Xavier Lee, it's been Weatherford who's moved the club here in the second half for Florida State. The handoff will go straight ahead. Good gain. Up to the 37. That's Lorenzo Booker, the tailback. Really their only running back in this football game.
Yeah, it really has. They lost Anton Smith, who Lorenzo Booker was sharing time with. He was out on the second play of last week's ball game with a dislocated right elbow against Western Michigan, but Booker has been sensational in this game.
They are a team that doesn't move the football on the ground very much anyway, ranking 100 in yards per game on the ground. A second down and 4. Weatherford Three receivers, goes outside with it, and that will be incomplete. Intended for Dakota Fagg, but he was well covered.
And that's one, Gary, where you're predetermined in where you're going with the football instead of reading things out, because he was locked on man-to-man. The corner to that side, Ryan Smith, was underneath and with help over the top. You've got to sort things out. If that one's not there, set your feet, come back to the other side of the formation and pick up the second and third receiver. Don't predetermine where you're going with the football.
They will huddle it up with the incomplete pass stopping the clock, but not the play clock here. That's down to 5. They got a third down. They do not need to delay a game here. Whew. Right down to the last half tick, and I don't think they made it. The flag has been dropped. I think there's a delay of game here.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, 11 on the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Ouch.
Yeah, just tough. I mean, you go 2 steps forward and a couple of steps back, and you never really get anywhere. And that's kind of where Florida State has been throughout this ball game. A couple of big plays, and they did well to get themselves tied up in this football game, but really just a struggle throughout most of the afternoon in this game.
There are the penalty numbers, and seemingly for both sides, all of the penalties have come at key times.
Yeah, just when you think they found some kind of rhythm, they find a way to go backwards.
It is a third down, long yardage situation for Florida State, and they've got to keep the football. 3 for 13, converting thirds. This one, and they're not going to get the first down to the 39-yard line. Chris Davis, but he needed to get another couple of yards to get the first down. Tony Joyner moved in the safety on the hit. So another big 4th down, short yardage.
Well, they're letting a lot of time run off the clock, so obviously they're going to go for it here. They feel like the opportunities in this football game are getting kind of short for them. So you take the shot here and hopefully convert. But I'm not sure the way their defense is playing, maybe with only 2 timeouts, but this is a portion of the field where you're basically surrendering the football game if you don't get it here.
4 seconds to get that snap off here. A 4th down, couple of yards for the first down. They're going to pass. They do. Man open and caught. No. Incomplete. Out of bounds at the 35. Warren, Brandon Warren, the tight end, double coverage, and Florida will get the football back.
Wasn't sure that if Drew Weatherford got himself outside the pocket, he could have just tucked it in and given up his body for the team. But that fast Florida defense, unable to hold on. True freshman Brandon Warren over the top. He had him open a little bit earlier. If he could get the football up just a little bit sooner, where you don't squeeze the receiver to the sideline, he's got just a yard or 2 more to come down with a play or with a reception. But when you squeeze him like that, 1, you run out of room, and 2, you allow a guy like Reggie Nelson to close.
Second straight time that Florida State failed to pick up a first down on 4th and short yardage. Now Florida's got to control the football. It is carried by Moore to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard. Let's check in with John Saunders. John.
Gary, we just want to let you know that the LG Skins game is coming up. There's a look at Fred Couples, who's made a living at these events, as soon as we're done with college football. Gary.
Beautiful sight there, John, and a beautiful sight here weather-wise. About 75 degrees today. Lots of sun, shadows on the field now. But for Florida State, their defense at 2:12 to go is going to find a way to get this football back. Florida just wants to hang on to it. They will straight ahead up to the 35, down to the 35-yard line. That is Moore again on a 5-yard gain. Timeouts become vital, so they're going to use one here. Florida State calling for the timeout, stopping the clock with 1:55 left to go. Florida's got the football. We'll see if they can hang on to it and the lead. We talked about how this make a difference for the programs. A win like that makes an enormous difference in recruiting.
Absolutely.
For a program. And recruiting's on the line here too. Florida, they've got the lead. They're looking for a first down. Trying to keep this football. Florida State using a timeout there as they're trying to get it back.
All right, they can somehow stop here and get the football back. You still got enough time.
Third down, 6 for 15. 5 receivers out there. Chris Leak from his own 40 is going to carry, and he's going nowhere. Andre Fluellen, the junior nose guard, had him stacked, and they will use another timeout to bring up a 4th down with 1:49 left to go. Florida State has used all of their timeouts.
Well, I tell you, a big stop by Florida State, which is going to allow them one more possession in this football game. And stay tuned. Don't get out of that seat yet.
What a game this one has been. All right, let's take a look at our Chevrolet players of the game. For Florida, Dallas Baker, big game receiving. For Florida State, Lorenzo Booker, the senior, out of the backfield. In recognition of their effort, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
Yeah, Dallas Baker with a touchdown reception to go ahead or put Florida ahead in this football game. And then Lo Booker, outstanding. Dallas Baker, the nephew of Florida great Wes Chandler.
Well, here's what we've done in this game. Florida got on the board twice. Leak to Caldwell, 66-yard pass, and then the youngster Harvin, who came on with a 41-yard run. They had the 14-0 lead. Florida State answered. Surratt took it in, a 1-yard drive for a TD. Weatherford to Carr, 25 yards to tie it up. And then Florida responded. Leak to Baker, 25-yard pass. That is right now the difference in the game. It came with 10:22 left to go in the 4th quarter. And it is 21-14, Florida leading. Now we've got the 4th down and 7. The kick will come from midfield. Let's see how Eric Wilbur wants to angle this. Just gives it the little foot towards the corner. They get great coverage. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah, and if you're gonna tie this football game up, you're certainly gonna earn it from about your 1.5-yard line with 1:42 left and 0 timeouts to go along with it.
What a great play that was to get that kick down there. Wilbur, that's perfectly done. A 36-yard kick, but more importantly, he did not put it out of bounds or in the end zone. So Florida State, with 1:42 left to go, will be asked to drive a good 99 yards here in order to get this game tied up. State with the football out of the end zone. Over the middle, receiver had not yet turned, and it will be incomplete.
It's going to have to be quick passes because you know the pass rush is going to be there, and they're coming after you. You're pinned down, and you're throwing from inside your end zone, so you don't get that football out. You take a sack to safety, and the game is over anyway. If you're Drew Weatherford, get back, get set, and get the football out.
Florida State has lost 3 games at home for the first time since 1975. That could be added to if Florida protects this lead. Drew Weatherford in the end zone, 15 for 31, 174 yards in the air. Over the middle, it's caught, but only up to the 6-yard line by Greg Carr. A little more room. Reggie Lewis put the immediate hit on. The clock continues to run with 1:18. There are no more timeouts.
Now it's definitely against you, so you got to get up, get a play called fast, but still execute and get the first down.
Showing blitz. Back at the end zone. The pass down the sideline is going to be way off the mark. No chance even for the alley-oop to Dakota Fogg. And Florida State is down to 1 more play. The LG Skins game will be coming up next here on ABC. Florida with a 21-14 lead, but you got to keep the football.
Yeah, and you know what? You know, every possession right now is 4 downs for Florida State. I'd like to have seen something a little better called on 3rd down than just kind of hang it up along the sideline and it floats itself out of bounds. Give one of the receivers a chance to catch the football, or a draw play for a 1st down, which will stop the clock for you and give you a little time to get a play call.
All right, let's see if they can get the 1st down here and keep possession of the football. Weatherford out of the gun. Had to pick that ball up off the turf. Over the middle. It is blocked. Incomplete. Florida gets the football back. Ray McDonald knocking it down. And the Gators, all they got to do now is hang on with under a minute left to go.
Well, they go into that favorite formation, victory formation, just kind of kneel it down and get out of here with a win.
Urban Meyer takes the headset off. His team's going to be 11-1 on the year. The Florida defense, their 3rd straight stop on a 4th down attempt by Florida State. And now Florida comes back out. They'll just run the clock off. Florida State cannot stop the clock. They have used all of their timeouts. And the hope for a big upset, try and salvage the disappointing season for Florida State, is not going to happen, as this Florida State team is going to end up overall 6-6. They obviously are bowl eligible. They are looking at maybe an Emerald or corporate or computer bowl appearance for Bobby Bowden's team. For Florida, their slim hopes at that BCS championship game remains alive with the 21-14 win here.
Oh, what a hard-fought football game, though, by both teams, and Florida State to get themselves back in and have an opportunity to win. But then Florida, when they needed the most, that guy right there, Chris Leak, provided it.
Our final score, 21-14. Florida wins it. Join us tonight for number 6 Notre Dame and number 3 USC. Coverage begins at 8. On behalf of Andre Ware, Todd Harris, and all of our crew, I'm Gary Thorne. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, and thanks for watching ESPN on ABC. I'm Gary Thorne from Tallahassee. We bid you adieu.